Alright, I believe we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geekus Theoreticus podcast, episode 2. First one went pretty well, I think. I had a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure Ludus had a lot of fun as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I did.
Goody, goody. So first, let's welcome the people who have been waiting in the chat. Calkiel, welcome to the stream. Murderous Kitten, as always, you are welcome. Zerius, welcome. As always, Ludus. Oh, yeah, you're right there. And Fincarn, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, and welcome to the Geekus Theoreticus podcast. Now, we have a series of topics today, but let's go over the full overview, because I think it's okay to let people know, like, the whole overview. So, the things we're going to be talking about in terms of topics are going to be Halo Infinite, Vermintide 2, Cyberpunk 2077, StarCraft 2, their 10-year anniversary, former Overwatch League pro fined for the Pepe meme, and the Red Dead Online Naturalist with a quote-unquote impossible choice. Now, let us cover the first of these, which is the Halo Infinite trailer. I should have it being played in the...
It is.
Okay, good. I can't see.
I have the stream pulled up on my second screen. Sorry, I just woke up. It's playing.
Okay. Bruni says we're barely audible. Is that consistent with everybody else, or is that just Bruni with his audio?
Oh no, he said never mind. Still had Chrome open.
Oh, for some reason the pre-stream live chat that I'm supposed to be seeing as it comes in is slower. For some reason. I don't know why. That should be illegal.
I've had that problem sometimes, too. I've had problems with it just not showing up.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened about 4 times to
me. Let me welcome the next few people who just jumped in, which is Kenneth Robinson, Jorge, I already welcomed Bruni, and Ball. Welcome as always, guys. Alright, so as we said, the first topic being the Halo Infinite trailer. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but let me let you give yours first. I'm curious what your perspective is. Oh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I was confused there for a second. I was like, wait, I'm still watching
it. So have you not checked it out when it first was live? Because that's...
No, I didn't see it when it was first live. I believe I was either in a group stream on the Bickering Bunches Discord, or I was recording one of the two.
Okay. Well, I'll get my thoughts out of the way first. I'm kind of disappointed with what I saw. I'm not saying that it was bad, strictly speaking, because it wasn't. It's clearly more Halo. My problem is it didn't really feel like Halo. It lacked a lot of the Halo vibes. The music was spot on for Halo, but aesthetically, when actually looking at it, it didn't look like Halo. I don't know. It's just... And the problem is, I can point out some specifics. For example, the pistol we saw didn't look anything like the Halo pistol I'm used to, which is much more sci-fi sleek style. This one looked more like a Glock that was imported from Modern Warfare to me.
Right.
So I'm not gonna lie, that was the first thing to go raise my eyebrows. Like, what's with this? What's going on? I don't know. For me, that was where I started, feeling like it was almost watching like a Doom trailer especially with the grappling hook. And I'm not opposed to Halo adopting more of a Doom gameplay style, but I was a little off-put by just the lack of Halo feel to me.
I noticed just in the opening, because this is also something I heard, is that they're trying to make it like an open world thing.
They are. It's going to be an open world. The single player, anyway.
Yeah, I would be absolutely behind that. Because, to be fair, I liked Halo Wars. As long as they do it right. Now, I like the graphics. It looks very smooth. But I do agree with you that some of the things do look different. Like, one thing that I noticed was the assault rifle. I remember it being bigger and bulkier, but that was also from, like, What,
Yeah,
fucking 20 years ago?
well, the thing is, even in Halo 5, it kind of, and again, I'm kind of off put. I get that they're going for a slightly different art style. At least that's what it appears to be. Again, there's something about the feel that's just a little off-putting. I don't know if necessarily this is going to be bad, and they are still a few months away from the launch of the game, but hasn't this been in development, or at the very least we know it's been in development for about 5 years? I was expecting something, I don't know. Yeah, it's been in development for a while.
I don't keep up with Halo.
This Halo has been in development for a good long while, and I'm left with I'm left scratching my head about the aesthetic and whether this is going to be a proper Halo experience. Again, though, I'm not opposed to the open world idea. I actually like it because I think that would be a good way to, I guess, innovate a lot on some of the prior Halo experiences we've all had. It would be good to have the freedom to explore in a warthog and move around with a grappling hook. My hope is that it will not take away from the Halo feel I've grown accustomed to. I want this to certainly have a better. I want this to be closer to the Halo I love than certainly Halo 5 was, and it might be. But I have certain concerns just based on the trailer. But overall, I'm not like openly like, oh fuck this. No, it's more like I have apprehension. But for the most part, I think it'll be all right for the most part.
I will say there's one thing I'm happy about, but it's such a small thing. I really kind of don't want to mention it. I remember playing the original Halo on the original Xbox and not having a map. And so when I saw the map, I was kind of like doing backflips in my head, like, yes, they finally did it!
Navigation!
Well, no, because I remember, and this will kind of, and I don't know if we talked about it on the stream, but this will kind of give my age away a little bit. I remember being a kid playing the original Halo on the original Xbox. And the second mission, right after you get off the Pillar of Autumn, where you're on the Halo ring for the first time, I remember spending like 30 minutes just being lost every time I played it. So it's like a map. I'm all for maps. I like maps.
Yeah, when I first played the original Combat Evolved, I had a bit of navigation issues as well. But I think that's just like a general thing, especially when you're younger and playing a game like that. It just I think the younger you are, the less natural like a navigation mindset you have. It's just run and shoot stuff, but you're not thinking, okay, I need to find the next location. So you kind of just run around aimlessly. The only other, I guess, major criticism I have is the villain. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting for a villain for Halo Infinite. I guess just not that.
Brute.
Well, no. We've had brute villains before, but I don't know. I'm curious to learn this guy's story, and at first I thought, he's kind of a little over the top, but then I thought about it, and Chris Raygun even commented about this, and said that pretty much all Halo villains have always been over the top to a degree. So, thinking about that, I was like, yeah, that was probably a little bit of an unnecessary drawback on my end. But I'm curious to see how they're going to handle the villain. It seems like he's an old, disgruntled brute who just wants to go out in some epic way. That's the story they've given him, essentially. I'm curious how they're going to handle it overall, though. I'm not sure.
Honestly, not to be contradictory, I kind of like that idea because brutes are naturally more what's the word I'm looking for? They have more aggressive tendencies. So for one who's old and just looking to take out as many enemies on his way out, that does kind of work for me, if that's the case. Now, I'm not saying it is. I honestly have no clue.
But it appears so just based on his speech at the end of the trailer. He spoke to how he's not angry or hateful of Chief as a Spartan. He wants to fight him. He's an epic enemy, and he wants the fight between them to go down so epically that long after the both of them are dead and gone, both of their names will be remembered for all time for their epic fight.
kind of get behind that.
Yeah, I can get behind. I can. It's I'm not against that. I'm hoping if they are giving him that goal and personality, they aren't gonna pull what they do with a lot of villains and have them like avoid fighting.
Yeah.
For contradictory reasons. Like, oh, I won't kill you now, Spartan. I'll fight you later for some arbitrary reason.
Yeah, they gotta obviously keep him the last boss, but they've got to find a good reason to.
Well, yeah, they gotta find a good reason for the two of them not to meet before that final moment. Not just it's just not the right time. It's like, when would be a good time?
I was just thinking when you said
is your schedule open? Do we need to write this down prior date? Like, okay, on January 24th.
Because when you said it that way, it reminded me of Angron on Istvan 3. They literally had to drag him off the planet. And I'm like, that would be cool. Like, he starts a fight with Chief in like the middle or maybe even the beginning of the game, just to get you introduced to him.
Definitely looks like at the beginning.
And then all of a sudden, the fight starts not going his way, and all of a sudden you see like 20 brutes come up, grab him by the legs, and start dragging him off.
That would make me laugh.
I mean, like I said, that's kind of what happened with Angron. So, I mean, but it's happened in so many things. It's just the first thing that came to mind because 30K nerd. But at the same time, it's just like that would be hilarious to me.
I agree. I am curious though. The only other thing and this is kind of like a side point to everything. I'm curious how they're gonna handle the Halo 5 stuff in relation to this. I hated Halo 5 through and through. I think everybody did. The trailers were downright lies. And
I never played it.
have you seen the trailers and everything for Halo 5 though? You know where Chief is like standing there in epic, way, and he's got like this rag over him and planets are falling, and they keep implying that Locke or Chief are going to kill each other at the end, and then nothing like that happens at all in the game.
Okay, so when the Master Chief Collection was working for me on my Xbox, I got through like 3 missions in Halo 4 and then it stopped working. And I stopped caring about Halo. So I didn't keep up with Halo Wars 2. I did very little in 4. And I gave no shits about 5.
Yeah, most people who actually bought and played Halo 5 didn't really give much shits about 5. It was just horrible writing, and Locke as a character wasn't very interesting. Generally, Halo 5 went down as probably the worst Halo to date. I'm hoping, by the looks of Halo Infinite, it's graphically not as good. At least just what we saw as Halo 5 was. I don't know if that's just because, again, this is some kind of early render. Maybe it's just the art style. Maybe they just don't want to go as they did with Halo 5, and they want to go a completely different way. And so inherently, it's going to look a lot less refined. Maybe there's any number of reasons. I tend to want this to have some good reasoning for everything. So I'm trying to look on the bright side, and I don't want to be overcritical because again, this is an early look. It's a gameplay trailer. As long as the gameplay is good as well, I don't really give a shit about the aesthetics. But I do think they're an indicator of like other quality drops that could be in the game.
It could be because maybe they noticed that the fan base. I do know for a fact the fan base absolutely loathes Halo 5. That's about as much as I know. So maybe they're like, let's do everything we did for Halo 5 just in the opposite direction. Everyone hated this, so if we do the opposite, they'll love it.
Yeah, right?
Maybe not. Depends on how far in the opposite direction you go.
That is true. I'm curious to see what they'll do, but for the most part, I have concerns about the new Halo coming out with Halo Infinite, but I'm hopeful that a lot of my concerns are unwarranted. And yeah, that's about all I had to say. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up or ask about?
No, but I do want to address one comment from the chat. James Knighton says you play Halo for the Chief. Honestly, I like the Arbiter more, just because I think he was
You're just a contrarian.
Oh no, I absolutely liked Arbiter more. I think and I know why. Chief was not written the way Arbiter. He wasn't, but I like the writing style, the dialogue style of Arbiter more than Chief. I think he was just an all-around better character due to that. But Chief is an amazing character for what he is. He's the strong, silent type that's meant to just be able to, well, basically fuck everything up.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is he's also a tragic character when you realize that in the events of the first Halo game, wasn't he like 17, 16 years old? Because I know the Spartans are extremely young.
See, I don't pay much attention to that because in
I'm a lore junkie. That's why, that's what I love about universes is the lore, the stories. Yeah. And I could be wrong because I don't pay as close attention.
To you, mighty donator.
Well, the reason I don't look at that is because in 40K, I think Astartes start out at
real quick, 10. Nathan 2000 just donated $4.99. What I'm gonna guess is pounds per sterling.
British pounds, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's British pounds. Thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you. Halo Infinite has updated graphics now, but the early graphics they showed was the only one compatible with quote-unquote gameplay build perspective. Okay. I'm curious though why they didn't hold out on showing the game later then. If they're why show earlier on graphics because you have to know that people are going to criticize that. And they're also going to get the impression that that's close to the final renders of what the game's going to look like. And I would have rather just held out than show gameplay. I would have been, if I were in that board meeting, I would have said, hey, if we show the early stuff, we're going to get a lot of people concerned about the graphical fidelity of the game. They're going to think we're in much earlier production than we really are. Maybe we should hold out until we have like an actual preview of what the game might look like. I don't know. That's an odd choice.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just a minor criticism. But thank you again for the donation, Nathan. Very much appreciated, man. Okay, Jorge says, you are right, Asmogon, Spartan are teenager in Reach and in Halo 1. Exactly. That's what I remember from the lore is that all the all the Spartans in Halo are teenagers. They're really young, and they all have deeper voices and appear older due to their height, but it's only because of their genetic manipulations. They're actually really young, and I think that's something that's very fascinating about their lore is when you realize that these super powerful warriors that are fighting not like armies essentially by themselves are actually kids. And the worst part is early on in the lore, you know for a fact that Spartans are hated by the rest of the UNSC. They think they're spoiled special operations units. They only like them if they fight alongside them and see how wrong they are about their impressions or about the rumors.
Well, from what I understand, the Spartans were originally designed to quell rebellion, so I can kind of understand that being a little off-putting. They were originally designed to kill other humans, so that would be a little off-putting.
They were originally put together to wipe out the what was it? What was that faction called even? The Rebellion or Confederacy? Like what was it? There was a group
or some shit. I don't know.
I have no idea. Some group that was resisting the UNSC and the rest. I guess they were like outer colonies as well. That people who didn't want to be associated with like Earth and the such. I don't know. Weird.
But and the reason I guess that really doesn't faze me is because that's like 40K Space Marines. When they start getting their surgeries, I think the oldest ones are 12. And that's a series of, I believe, 19.
I think that's actually older, because they usually start at 10 years old.
From what I saw, the age range, I believe the youngest is 8, the oldest is 12.
I think the standard, though, is 10. I don't think they like to go above 10 years old, because they really need to get the indoctrination started early.
Oh, yeah. So think about that the next time you play 40K Space Marine.
And the thing is, most, especially amongst Black Templars, most neophytes will see combat within, 4 or 5 years of their beginning of their surgery, so they'll probably see combat while they're 15, 14 years old. Most won't survive their first encounter.
Yeah, they have an outlandish casualty rate.
That's also why they recruit from pretty much every world they land on.
They what's the it's not commandeer. That's not the word. Damn it. Oh well. I had a funny thing I was going to yeah, occupy work. I had a funny word, and I think it began with C, but I lost it, and it is now no longer funny. I ruined my own joke.
As does the best of us. Alright, so that does it for the Halo Infinite stuff. Again, pretty hopeful, but I have some concerns. Hopefully they're unwarranted. But that does it for that one. Next on is one of your topics, the Vermintide 2 development process.
Yeah. So I thought this was kind of cool. I know some game developers, when they get a new project, are like, yeah, this is old, it's trash. So after the announcement,
Call of Duty comes to mind.
Well, Call of Duty is just trash.
So this Call of Duty's a year old. Well, out with that, in with the new.
I will never play Call of Duty because I think they're all horrible.
A lot of them are pretty bad, especially single player.
Well, it's because they do them every year and they don't put the time required to make a good game into it.
They used to be pretty good games, I gotta say, like World at War, Black Ops. Those were great stories. Then you get to Advanced Warfare and Ghosts.
The only Call of Duty I liked, and this is going to be pretty damning, is Ghosts.
You liked the worst Call of Duty.
Everyone says that.
It is the worst.
That's why I like it, is because it was completely unlike the rest of them.
It's so bad. I have no idea how you can like that.
Because it's not like the other.
It's just so bad.
But anyway, so the Vermintide team put out a message on Steam, and that's how I found it. They also have it up on. It's still on Steam, but it's on. I did a quick Google search and found it. So essentially, even though they're also doing Darktide, they are still going to be developing the DLC and extra content for Vermintide 2 as well. They are not going to leave that hanging. So I really appreciated that, because that's them acknowledging, like, hey, you know, our community likes Vermintide 2. They really enjoy it. We've had mostly positive support from it. So we're going to keep this going while we work on Darktide. And I think that could be a good and a bad thing. As long as they have enough people where they can focus on two games, it could work out really well. The only thing that I'm kind of hesitant about is if they do get short-staffed. Then both of them could come. They could start releasing bad shit for both of them. So,
yeah, I'd be interested to see how they handle continuing to launch DLC and updates for Vermintide 2 and maintaining, updating, and doing maintenance stuff for the new Darktide. How big is their team to handle two projects like that?
I don't know. I'm going to assume it's the Fat Shark team, so I will look real quick.
I'm curious, because that's a lot. That's going to be hard for a team short of 40. Because if you have 20 people working on Darktide and 20 people working on Vermintide, they'll probably be able to keep up with some stuff, but it'll still probably be like months of gaps between updates and bug fixes.
Today, we consist of a tightly knit team comprised of over 90 experienced and skilled employees.
90.
Yeah.
90's still on the smaller end, especially for two games they're going to be maintaining, but I think 90's is functional. They'll probably be able to get good updates and bug fixes and patches for both games and DLC for both games within a decent amount of time of each other, assuming there's only the two games they're working on. Does Fat Shark have any other games that they're maintaining or keeping active?
Let me look that back.
Because I only know of Vermintide from Fat Shark. I don't know if and now Darktide coming out soon. I'm curious to see what's up there.
So published and developed. The last one was Crater, which was 2018. Then Vermintide 2. they have developed ones, and then they have just published. So it seems like realistically the only two they're going to have running at the same time that are self-published and developed will be Vermintide 2 and Darktide. Does that mean those will be the only things they're working on? No, but it is leaning more towards that maybe it should be fine with them doing that.
Yeah. And that was 90 developers, right? Not 90 staff in total. You said
they just said the team consists of 90. So
I'm going to assume that's devs. I'm going to assume it's 90 devs. Because if they're referring to it as the dev team, I'm going to assume that's 90 people. So 45 people work on one game, 45 people work on the other. That's a decent staff for both teams. And when I worked as an indie dev, when you're doing indie development, I think teams larger than 3 or 4 are typically considered a little larger, or much larger than the average for an indie game. There are some indie games with a staff of 1, and some of those are some of the best games out there for indie development. Undertale comes to mind, although he did consult with other people on music and such, I believe. Don't quote me.
I will quote you, and I will quote you thoroughly.
But yeah, they're definitely a AA team in size. With 90 people, they're almost at a AAA size. AAA is usually just over 100 people on a development team. But usually AAA companies work on like 4 or 5 games at a time. If they're only working on Darktide and Vermintide 2 and they have no other games in the woodwork, then this will be very doable with that many people. This is pretty doable.
And something else I like is in the statement they also mentioned, we are looking forward to the continuous development of Vermintide 2, and the next major DLC update is Vermintide 2 Chaos Waste. And they're already working on the next career following the positive reception of the Grail Knight. So it shows that they are keeping in touch with the community. So that's really awesome.
That's good.
That means even if they put out a shit game, I'll probably still like them as a publisher because they care about the community.
I think it'll be fine. I think didn't Vermintide 2 come out a pretty clean game? I might be wrong. I don't remember hearing a lot about, Vermintide 2, it's such a buggy mess. I don't remember hearing anything like that, so...
I can look up on Steam and see what the reviews are, but I have a feeling it's going to be mostly positive.
I thought they were overwhelmingly positive. That's what I would assume.
Recent reviews are very positive. All reviews are mostly positive.
Okay.
And that's across 40,000 reviews on Steam. So, yeah, I mean, it's done really well. It's just that, I worry. Like I said, my only concern is if they get stretched too thin. I don't think they will with a team that size.
I think it'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. Let's just go through the chat a little bit here, see if anyone had any comments about the Vermintide 2 stuff. Finkern says, wish I could play Vermintide 2, but it is pretty boring without a party. You can only play with randoms so much. I think that's true. I think games like this, they definitely rely and thrive off of playing with friends. It's the same reason why playing Space Hulk Deathwing is kind of a waste of time. If you're playing single player, it's impractical. I think most people would prefer to play with a group, and those games are definitely geared towards that. They really want you to play with friends. It's about the co-op and group experience and joking around and talking the shit. Thing is, I've played Space Hulk Deathwing and Vermintide 2 by myself, or by myself in the sense that I didn't have a pre-made group of friends I was playing with. And I could say it's a lot more boring. It's a lot less interesting, and there's only so much the carnage and the catharsis of killing waves and waves of enemies will do for so long. Like, I could play a max of maybe 2 hours if I'm playing with randos, just based on that, cathartic slaughter fun fest. I could do that pretty easily. But if we're talking like playing 6-7 hour game sessions on Vermintide 2 when it's just me playing with randoms, that wears out its welcome pretty fast. Same with Space Hulk Deathwing. You really need friends to play with if you want to make it good.
It could be worse. I play with bots.
Bots are worse. I don't like playing with bots.
For the antisocial gamer and all of us, sometimes I prefer the bot to the random.
Well, the thing is, and not to go completely off topic, but when it comes to talking about, antisocial gamers, think about it. Back in the day, gamers actually weren't antisocial. Like, at all.
I absolutely agree.
Think about World of Warcraft. Like, the nerd game, everybody thought, for many years. Think about how social you had to be back in the original game's time, like 2004, 2005. You had all the way through the first 2 or 3 expansions. You had, well, Wrath of the Lich King entered. As much as Wrath of the Lich King is my favorite thematic, is my favorite theme and thematic expansion. It brought in, didn't it bring? I can't remember. Was it the Raid Finder it brought in or the Dungeon Finder it brought in? It brought in one of those two.
No, I think those came into a Cataclysm. If it did, I think it was Dungeon Finder. No, I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that.
Let me check. But I'm pretty certain that Wrath of the Lich King introduced either the Raid Finder or the Dungeon Finder.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Dungeon, if anything, because I'm pretty sure Dungeon Finder came first.
I'm pretty sure as well, but...
I actually had a debate with someone yesterday who said Wrath of the Lich King was one of the worst expansions of WoW. And I think their argument was Cataclysm was better than Wrath. And I was like, well, it's okay. We can all be wrong sometimes.
So this doesn't say exactly what expansion, but it says Dungeon Finder is the Looking for Dungeon LFD system. Blizzard introduced it in patch 3.3.0. So 3.3 implies that it's expansion 3, patch 3, I think is what that means.
Possibly.
So that would be Wrath of the Lich King.
Yep.
If we're talking about 3rd expansion. So, with that in mind, it was introduced with Wrath of the Lich King. If that number is what is that implication. Which I believe it is. So, yeah. That, as much as I love Wrath of the Lich King, it's my favorite expansion. That is like the one major issue that was introduced early on. Because the thing is, a huge part of what made an MMORPG so, like World of Warcraft so amazing was that social experience. Like, you had to talk to people if you wanted to do a dungeon. You had to talk to people if you wanted to do raiding. You had to create groups. Hell, even back in the day, a guild meant more than just a hodgepodge of people, piling gold in one spot and then using it for whatever they wanted. It actually was a community. Like, there was organization. There was, okay, this is the day we do this raid, or this is the groups that do dungeons this part of the week. It felt like a community and an organization. And I think a lot of that's gone now, unfortunately.
My dad, when he was still active duty in the military, he was part of a guild, and you're exactly right. You can see a lot of difference between then and now, just from guilds and dungeons and raiding. That is just like, now it's just click a button and do it. Hey, you'll get a bunch of randos and no one will care, and it's just like, meh. I'm waiting for them to do the LFR Mythic version, and I'm going to be so pissed when they do.
I think no, you can't go above
LFR is its own
own type of raid.
Yeah. And when you actually go there, you can do normal, heroic, and then mythic, and mythic goes up to, like, I don't know, fucking 15 at this point. I don't remember.
Okay.
They got stupid with it, and I don't really like how they did it. So now I'm one of those people that just does like LFR, normal, and heroic, because there's no reason to do the mythic, because they just like, well, we're going to start out with 5. Okay, next expansion we're going to go to 10. Now this expansion we're going to go to 15, and it's like, why?
Yeah, it's just I miss the days where. Because sometimes it's not about how convenient a game is, it's about how inconvenient it is. And I think that's what makes the most memorable experiences.
So I can say this. Now, which expansion did you say you stopped with?
I stopped playing during Cataclysm because my guild disbanded. We had a lot of drama. Seriously, like, I joined that guild when I was 9 or 10 during the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. And then during Kata, I don't know what the fuck happened. It's like all of a sudden, this group that we used to get along so well, there was infighting, arguing. The guild leader had his wife join for a bit, and she was a fucking bitch. Because, by God, it was a fucking disaster.
I can say one of the things hurting World of Warcraft is they're losing their older fan base. And I think that's what they're trying to fix with Shadowlands, but they're not going to. And it's going to be so funny to watch this one blow up in their face as well.
I'm actually going to play Shadowlands. I'm hoping I'm wrong about it in the sense because I fear that a lot of people are hyping it up because a lot of people were excited for BFA, and that fucking was horrible.
BFA was cool for a couple of things, but those are very niche things. Like for people who like PvP, it was great. For someone like me who fucking hates PvP, it's like, yeah, I'll pass. But what I do think is funny is a couple of the biggest complaints that I've seen from people who have played it longer is just the consistent and constant dumbing down of the game.
Yeah, they're just making it... The thing is, it's always been a casual game. It's always been that, but it's never been an easy casual game. It's been casual friendly compared to its early competitors back in the day with like Guild Wars and the such. Because in those games, there was a lot more micromanaging of things. There was a lot more complication. Where WoW has always had simpler systems, but it's never been easy until these last recent expansions. These most recent ones, I shrug with how easy it gets. Because the thing is, now you can level. The leveling experience now is a drag. It used to be the main content back in the day, but now it's like, oh, I got how long till max level? Oh, Jesus.
I will say it got started at the end of Cataclysm.
Yeah, Kata was just a bad experience for me overall. I might remember it worse than it really was because of my guild disbanding and the drama that went on, but it was bad. I was fucking done after Kata. I kept my ear to the ground for like Mists. I heard about that, but I didn't actually play it. And then the next expansion after Mists was Warlords, wasn't it?
Warlords of Draenor, yep.
Yeah, Warlords of Draenor. I jumped back in the game for that because the cinematic it got me. It got me because as a major Warcraft 3 fan, to watch that sequence and to see Grom hell scream again, and to see him survive the same death blow that killed him in Warcraft 3, I was like, I gotta play this. There's no way they can fuck up bringing Grom back. By God, I was wrong.
Okay, I'll say that was an interesting concept, but they used time travel to get it, and I think that was a mistake.
Time travel and alternate dimension, so it's double confusing.
But I do think the idea of Grom refusing the demon's blood was a cool idea, just wasn't really executed that well.
No. The thing is, again...
mighty new subscriber.
I just wish Warlords had been a lot more of what I had envisioned it to be. Because you got to imagine, my mind was racing when I saw... Like, this is how much I was looking forward to this end. I got the collector's edition of Warlords of Draenor. I still have it. It came with a booklet of all the artwork of the game. It was signed by some of the devs. I went all out. And this is back when I worked in a grocery store. I saved up for that. That's how much I was confident this would bring me back to the love of Warcraft that I once had. And it was dreadfully low in terms of matching my expectations.
I will say one of the things that I liked about Warlords of Draenor is something that everyone hated about it, and that was the garrison. I thought that was cool because it leveled with you.
But the problem is it's a Facebook game inside of an MMORPG.
No, I agree 100%. I think this is actually the opposite of everything else about Draenor. It was a horrible idea, but it was executed pretty well.
I'm not a fan. The thing is, a lot of players use it to like cheat, like cheese their like mining People use it to cheese their professions these days. Because once you unlock it, you just gotta spam some stuff in the garrison, and you can max out your stats.
That takes a long time, though. As someone
it's still a long time, but think about it. They can actually get it down to a formula, as opposed to doing it while leveling. A lot of people prefer to just level up the garrison to the proper spot, and then just spam those. It's a common practice. Real quick, let's check out the chat a little bit. Don't wanna completely ignore them. Alex Marchenko, I did not welcome you. I'm sorry, man. Welcome to the stream. Kyle, welcome. And Jorge, you're still here. I'm happy to see that. Intercom, welcome as well. Jorge says, they got you, Asmagon. That is what they do. They play with your nostalgia like strings. I know, and it worked. So, thing is, they literally, if they had done anything but show Grommash survive, if they'd shown anything but Grom surviving that fight with Manaroth, I would not have been dragged in if they had shown anything but that. But the thing is, they just showed the perfect thing that brought that nostalgia song, if you will, and lulled me in, and by God, I regret it. I was so mad about that.
I will say Legion was kind of like a step down from Draenor, though, and BFA was a step down from that, so that's why I'm really not looking
Actually, I thought Legion was an upswing from Draenor.
The only thing that made Legion more tolerable is the class hall was a better implemented garrison, and shy of that, they introduced the Demon Hunters, which people have been waiting for a very long time.
It's also the theme and the story of the expansion was a lot more interesting and well done, I think. Legion is better than Warlords overall, and I think most of the community agrees with that. And the thing is, though, is with BFA, a lot of people consider BFA in below what Legion was. So it's kind of, right now we're going at like an upswing, downswing, upswing, downswing. And if that continues, that trend continues, that means since BFA was bad, hopefully Shadowlands will be another upswing. My fear, though, is what if they keep doing this up, down, up, down, up, down swing?
No clue.
Because does that mean a lot of people are just going to have to expect the next expansion to suck, therefore skip it? Like stop your subscription during that time and then wait for the next expansion? Or do we keep trying to roll the dice? I don't know.
Sorry. I'm laughing at something in chat real quick. Kyle Jordan Gaming says, this is actually kind of funny because no one knows this about me. Ludus Infinium looks like the Black Ranger from Power Rangers. I'm assuming you mean Adam, the one who took over after Zack, who was, as you put it, the Black Ranger. And if that's what you're saying, that looked like Adam, it's funny because that actor is Johnny Young Bosch. He is, I believe, half Korean. And he's also the voice actor of my favorite anime character.
Ichigo?
So, yep.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's what he's saying. I apparently look like Johnny Young Bosch.
I always forget he played the Black Ranger in the later years. I always forget that. I don't know why.
That is a lie. Stop insulting the poor man that way. I look nothing like you.
Nah, you look better.
Voice of everyone in anime ever. That's not true. That's Stephen J. Bloom.
Yeah. Meme Gene 69 said, since I dropped WoW, I started to realize how... I assume you meant to say how much money I was spending on that shit. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, when you really count it out, you're like, oh, it's $15 a month. I'll barely notice it. But then once you play for like 4 or 5 years straight, you're like, oh, wow, that's actually a lot of money. Fuck.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
I know 15. People who still budget around it.
You're looking at close to like 15. I haven't watched Trigun, Billy.
Don't remind me. Trigun was pretty fucking good.
That's what I've heard. I just haven't watched it. I'm actually going through.
Do you like post-apocalyptic-esque Western anime with a sci-fi twist? Just give it a watch and see if you like it.
Yeah.
That's about all I can say.
That is oddly specific for me to say yes. Like, right now, in what free time I have, I got through the first season, or the first part of Season 3 of Tokyo Ghoul. So I'm actually going to finish... I went through and started rewatching it, and I'm back.
How do you like Tokyo Ghoul?
I like the concept of Kaneki as a character because he's always trying to battle the monster inside.
Yeah, but my problem with Tokyo Ghoul is it's one of those really dark and edgy anime that's dark and edgy for the sake of it.
Okay,
and that's why I don't like it.
So I look at him the same way I look at Ichigo. With Ichigo, it's the hollow inside. So it's that monster that's always trying to fight to get out, and he's always trying to keep it. He's trying to keep it inside.
Yes, but the difference is Ichigo doesn't eat people. As a consequence,
he's killed a lot of people.
Yes, but he doesn't eat them. That's the thing is, the writer, for me, the writing is where it's so bad. Because if these were vampires and it was just blood-sucking, and that they killed people as an accident or they going too far, it's way more, like, you can sympathize and empathize with them a lot more in that sense. Because you're like, oh, there is a way to get out of this. There's a way where everybody can coexist. With ghouls, there is no coexisting. They can't eat animal meat. They can't eat any alternative flesh to humans. It's only humans, and that's it. And they have to eat them. It's not even a matter of, oh, I drink your blood. It's, I eat a chunk of your flesh and muscle.
Well, with Anteku...
There's no coexisting.
With Anteku, they found a really interesting, for lack of better words, of coexistence, and that was they would eat people who... I need to figure out the right way to word this. That took
commit
their own
suicide?
lives, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but that's not a solution because they're still eating people, mixing it in with coffee and drinking it. But it's not enough. They still need to eat people. What if they eat all the suicide victims in the world? Then they're out of food. So then they fucking eat people. I can't sympathize. The thing is, they wrote themselves into an unsympathetic corner. And the anime has, like, very few moments of brevity and light. I hate anime like that. It's not because, oh, I hate sadness or darkness. No, I like things that are sad and dark. I don't like it when it's just that. Like, if it's just one dark emotion the way through, I get numb to it within an episode.
Okay, I don't know if this is trolling, but I too want to address this. How do you guys compare Bleach with Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't. And then you went on to say Bleach has the same thing as Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, most shonen animes have the stupid power of friendship bullshit line. And
quite a few.
Yes. And if you can look around that, there are distinct differences. Like, for instance, two that are notable for it are Bleach and, oh god, I'm going to throw up in my mouth a little bit when I say this, but One Piece.
I love One Piece, you son of a bitch.
I liked One Piece for the first, 200 to 300 episodes.
I love One Piece. I can't get enough of that shit.
It got, after 300 episodes, it got a little stale for me. Maybe I just need to go back and rewatch it. But it's one of those things where it's still the power of friendship. Fairy Tail's the same way. Dragon Ball's the same way. It's a lot of anime that do it. And yes, in that sense, they're the same. The difference is in Bleach and in Bleach and Yu-Gi-Oh! Compared specifically, there's a lot more chance of people dying than in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, they can get sent to the Shadow Realm, but honestly, how often has that happened across all of the series? In Bleach, they're literally fighting evil spirit. I mean, it's kind of, it's hard to compare those two. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Alright, ready to do the next topic?
That would be, yes. Sorry,
that
I
would
had to look at my
be
list.
Cyberpunk 2077, just around the corner.
Yes, Keanu Reeves 2077.
I gotta say, I was already hyped for that, but by God.
I haven't seen anything new about it, so I've intentionally kept myself blind as to what you're going to show, just so I can be excited.
Well, there's in terms of new information, there obviously we know that it's coming out later and later each time, like we get close to the date. They keep pushing it back, which is fine as long as the game is good when it comes out and refined and it's not a buggy, shitty mess. I don't care how many times they put it back, as long as they are honest and like, hey, we're not done yet. It still needs to get polished. Fine, just tell us that. I'm fine. But in terms of new information, there's no new information. It's just I wanted to talk about the fact that it's around the corner again. And do you think they're going to delay it again?
How many times have they delayed it already?
4, 5, maybe 6 times?
Then probably.
Yeah, they've delayed it a number of times. If we're only counting the times they've delayed it from like a date they've set for sure, they've delayed it 3 times. But they've said like, oh, it's coming out sooner this year. Oh, never mind, we're gonna put it back more. Oh, we still have more we're working on. But in terms of like the first time they gave an actual date was with Keanu Reeves and at the E3 event. That was the first time they gave an actual date, and then they delayed that, and then they delayed it again. So it's been 3 delays since that official date. But if we're counting the delays of terms of like general time frame that they gave at the start to now, it's been about 6.
I would say if they say it's around the corner, be cautiously optimistic. Like you've said, 3 times since an official release date, 6 times overall. There's no way to say it's not just going to get pushed again. I mean, every so often something has issues, and I think they really are trying to work out the issues so it is a complete project on release. But be cautiously optimistic would be my advice.
I recommend the same.
Yeah, it could very well be released, or they could be like, hey, we ran into another issue, just let us fix it, and we'll release it to you.
Yeah. So right now, the current date for their release is November. Let me double check, because I know it's in November. I just want to be certain before I say out loud. I pre-ordered it on Steam, so
do that. You don't pre-order games.
I would not normally pre-order any game ever, but with Cyberpunk 2077, I'm confident. It's the only time I will pre-order something is if I trust a company to be honest and to do it right, and I trust the devs to get it out right. I trust them to do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've been straight with us. They haven't fallen for a lot of the BS complaints on Twitter and the such. They've been straight. Like, hey, this is a game. We're gonna get it out, and they've had such a long history of being honest and good to the gaming community. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm pre-order. And I do not regret this pre-order. I normally subscribe to the same belief as everybody else, never pre-order. Yeah. But I trust these guys. I trust them because they've been honest. They're a good dev team, and they've given me no reason not to trust them.
I only pre-ordered one game, and I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't go back and pre-order it.
Kyle joining in. Well, a lot of people trusted Bethesda and Naughty Dog and Blizzard. Well, thing is, a lot of those companies went corporate and big before they... The thing is, there were signs to begin with to not trust them. There were signs there. With the company... why is it the name just exited my brain?
I'll look it up.
Why? Why did it leave? It was there, then it fucking left. No, why does it do that? They made The Witcher. Fuck.
CD Projekt?
Thank you. How did that exit my brain? CD Projekt Red, they're not... I think they're still considered a AA company. They're not even AAA. They're not owned by a big corporation like Activision or EA. They're still independent and they're Polish. So they aren't really necessarily a company. They're more of a straight dev team than a company. And I believe they're independent still.
And their release date right now is November 19th.
November 18th according to the Steam store, which I think is because Steam has like a day early access.
Okay.
I think. But
at least it wasn't like a week difference. I'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, but with Bethesda and with Blizzard and those companies, they went massively corporate before they released some of their big shitters. And there was plenty of warning signs. It's just most people, including myself, ignored them. Those same warning signs aren't around CD Projekt Red at the moment. So I will continue to trust them as a dev team. Again, them being independent, they're not even really a company. they're a company in the sense of like how they're registered in like their own databases and such. They are a company, and strictly speaking, but they are not. They're almost overall a development team. So I do not regret my pre-order, and hopefully I won't. Maybe I'll eat my words, but as of right now, I'm confident. That's just my take.
Yeah, and this is one that I was there for like the original announcement, original release date, and then after they put it off, I think like 2 times, I was like, okay, it'll come out when it comes out.
Yeah, I was confident with this pre-order. I'm usually not ever. I don't pre-order for any other ever. Like, it doesn't matter. I do not pre-order, generally speaking. But again, I trust CD Projekt Red. They've done good by everybody. In terms of like how they've talked about the game, and other avenues, in terms of how the company is still run. It's still run and operated by the people who created it. I trust them to do right by this. I would not trust Blizzard, Bethesda, any of those companies in a million fucking years, EA included.
EA is just a horrible company, and they need to be broken up.
They do. EA is the bottom of the barrel of horrible human beings.
They ruined my favorite game franchise, and they need to be broken up.
They liquidated a lot of the studios that made some of the best games of all time.
Yeah, like BioWare.
They haven't liquidated BioWare yet.
Yet. They just took away all creative ability from them. Like, no, we want you to do this.
I'd say like Visceral Games. They liquidated them, pretty sure.
What did Visceral do? That sounds very familiar to me.
They oh crap. Why does that keep happening? Alright, so Visceral Games. Visceral Games. There's a specific game they did. Yeah, they were defunct 2017. They did Dead Space.
Oh, okay.
They did the Dead Space franchise.
Okay. I know it sounded familiar. I was just like, why can't I fucking play?
But yeah, like I said, I trust CD Projekt Red as of right now. If they were going more corporate, I wouldn't have pre-ordered, but as of right now, they're still an independent studio. Alright, so that does it for that topic. Where is my thingy?
On the stream, it was the Keanu Reeves scene.
Yeah, it's just playing the trailer.
Yeah, I know this sounds really fanboyish of me, but I really do like Keanu Reeves as a person. He seems like a really cool guy. So
that's how most people feel. So we're on to the next one. This one's your topic. StarCraft 2 10th anniversary.
Yes, so StarCraft 2 has reached its 10th anniversary, and they have actually done something really cool. They've came out with their version 5 patch. And with it comes a lot of interesting things. But I narrowed it down to the top, at least top 3 relevant things to me.
All right.
The first one, and I thought this was kind of cool, that they finally added it in as an option under multiplayer and arcade. They're now allowing people to create custom campaigns. You could before, but you had to do it in a roundabout way. Now they're actually making it easier for the creators. So I thought that was really nice.
Nice.
Then they added new achievements to all the campaigns, but you have to complete the achievements on normal or higher. And from what I understood, it's to get you to play the missions in a different way. So if you're interested in achievement hunting, that's pretty cool as well. It's like, okay, you've beaten this, now can you do it this way? Kind of cool. And then this is the one that spoke out to me the most. They've released prestige talent for co-op commanders. I am a co-op whore. In fact,
I've only done it once and wasn't a fan.
I love the co-op. I do. The versus is okay, but I love the co-op.
I prefer versus because it's just an open match. I don't know. I don't like the restriction of like, oh, you have this specific task you got to do as a team. I don't know. I don't have as much fun with that. For me, I like the more general, like just combat, like build a base, beat the enemy. I like that a lot more. For me, I'm not a huge fan of the co-op stuff. The co-op commander stuff.
Yeah, actually, in fact, on my channel later, I'm going to be doing, at 6 p.m., I'm going to be doing a community event, and it's going to be StarCraft 2. I'm probably going to do both co-op and versus.
All right, I'll join you for that, actually. What time?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've said multiple times, you are more than welcome to anytime you want. You are free to join in.
Mm.
But so here's the cool thing. So if you have a mastered commander, which is level 15, so like for me, one of my favorites is Dahaka or Karak. You like Dahaka? I love Dahaka as a co-op commander. I love him as a co-op commander. I call him Yoshi.
Yoshi.
One of his attacks is Devour, and he literally shoots out his tongue like Yoshi and swallows the enemy whole, even if it's a fucking battle group.
He also has in the campaign. He also has an ability where he can jump high places.
Yeah.
Just to help your comparison there.
I like my little Yoshi, but anyway.
Yoshi meets Dahaka. Must collect essence.
So what happened is that's the grim dark version of Yoshi.
Pretty much.
Anyway, I can Yoshi. So they released prestige talents, which this for me sounds cool. So I'll have to I'll have to actually go through this and see how cool it is. But what it is you can play through your mastered commanders to level them 1 through 15 again up to 3 more times, and choose between different talents for them up to 3, and it could change their play style. So that was something that, since I'm more of a fan of co-op, that was something that really spoke to me. But I like the way they put in where it's like, okay, so you've already got them up to mastery. We have people, I've seen this with a mastery level of like 300. So for people like that, they can go through, replay it again, 1 to 15, and get new talents to make it where the play style is maybe tweaked a little bit. Maybe it goes more bio, maybe more mech, whatever. But it will change it up a little bit, so it makes it where not everyone's playing, where everyone who plays Dahaka plays the same way, where everyone who plays Karax plays the same way. This will change it up. So I thought that was kind of
cool. Yeah, I don't have as much to say about the co-op stuff. But this does beg the question, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a long-ass time. Has it really been that long?
Since Wings of Liberty, yeah.
That feels so weird, because I played Wings of Liberty when it came out. Fresh.
I know. I have the
I've aged. No. Oh, I feel old. I feel fucking old. Dare. Yeah.
You're gonna make me feel old too.
I don't know how I feel so old. I don't know. I think it doesn't help where people who are slightly older than me act infinitely less mature than me. So I guess that inherently brings out me feeling even older, even though physically I'm far. Not you specifically. I was thinking people like Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Did you know they're my seniors?
Yes, but emotionally they're still 5. So
yeah, it feels weird that I'm ahead of them in the maturity, because aren't they 25, 26, some shit like that. They're older, so I feel. I don't know. I feel infinitely older than I physically am. I don't know. I feel life is very taxing. Not to mention my mileage is thorough.
So Kyle just made me feel old again. Bruh, I remember having StarCraft 1 LAN parties back in the day.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah. But now here's something cool on the actual news.blizzard.com website. They throw out specific stuff, big stuff that creators have done in the past 10 years. And this is something that's really cool for me. They mentioned StarCraft, which is done by Carbot Animations. They released a whole reskin mod for StarCraft Remastered.
Yeah, I know. I played that a little bit.
It's adorable.
It's all. I think I've always loved the StarCraft's animated series. It's
Yes.
been very, very good. I've enjoyed the hell
By
out
the way,
of it.
I want to point out the guys behind Carbot Animations are the absolute coolest people. They did the StarCraft series finale, and I reached out to them and I was like, "Hey, is it cool if on my YouTube channel I do a reaction to it?" They're like, yeah, just let everyone know it's us, and yeah, we don't have a problem with it. Shoot. So they were really cool about that. They were, if you look at some of their stuff on Twitter, like how they interact with the community, they're actually, again, one of my biggest things is they care about their community. So that's just really cool for me.
I think that's what's most important about being a content creator is I think the worst content creators are ones that in their minds is like, oh, everything's about me, me, I. I think the best creators, the best channels, and the best creators on the platform are people who are building a community and very much look at it as they're just like the head of the community, but they're not the core of the community. It's not them that is what's most important. It's about the content. It's about entertaining the community. It's about bringing the best out of the community. And I think, you see that with their channel with StarCraft. You see it with a numerous amount of other channels. I think those are the best YouTube channels in my opinion. Like even PewDiePie. Very much, it's like, how's it going, bros? My name is PewDiePie. He always introduces himself, always welcoming new people to the community, but he also always interacts with the community. Hell, he does constant videos left and fucking right, where he's just looking at what his community has made for fan stuff for him. Like, he puts intros that are fan-made at the beginning of his latest LOIs and the such. I think, again, when it comes down to the best creators aren't just, oh, it's me, I. It's, no, this is my community that I'm building with them, and I want it to be just that. It's a community where I may be the entertainer, but I'm not just the backbone. The community is the backbone.
I feel very much the same way. At least in my own community, I look at it as I would be nowhere without my community. I wouldn't. It all comes down to the community, and I feel like my community are a bunch of wonderful people, and they've helped me through some bad shit, and I've helped some of them through some bad shit, and it's one of those things where it's like, and I do it at the end of my videos. I'm actually thinking about switching this up and putting it at the beginning of my videos just to see if that helps. But I always say, if you want to support the channel, subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, leave suggestions for games you want to see, or for bits of lore you want to see, or for ways to improve the videos. I'm always open to criticism.
Oh, Bravo Junior just left the stream. Sorry to interrupt. Have a good one, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it a lot. Sorry, continue.
No, but I mean, necessarily, it's just that's how I feel. If I don't know everything about being a YouTuber, I think that's clearly obvious. But
I can always give tips. So can Kibbs, Arch, Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, and I'm going to say this in full honesty. I think how I actually got introduced to Asmogon and got a line to Arch and to Kibbs is actually because of Kibbs specifically. I was going through a bit of a depressive fit because I had just left another YouTube community, kind of involuntarily. Different story, but
I think it's on the first episode. Didn't you say that in the first podcast? The story about that? Or?
I don't really remember.
I'm not sure either.
But so anyway, right after that, I was in one of Kibbs' live stream. He was doing Halo Master Chief Collection. He was doing Halo 1. And he noticed my name because I changed my name from Ludus Infinium to Ludus Infinium 40K Lore and Gaming. He's like, oh, you're obviously a YouTuber. Hey, you know what? Join our Discord and we'll give you some tips. His first tip was to change the name. He's like, you're obviously a YouTuber. You don't need to be that long. Most people get disinterested. Like, okay, so I changed it back to Ludus Infinium. And he just sat there and talked with me. I think that very first time he talked with me for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And as hard as this is going to believe, I was very quiet the first time I talked to him. I was very shy. and he helped bring me out of that depression and that almost hesitance to interact with communities because of what had happened to me. And so honestly, without Gibbs, I wouldn't be here just chatting with Asmogon now. So if I honestly had to thank anyone specifically to start it, it would have been him.
Yeah, I respect Kibbs a lot. Kibbs is probably one of the more awesome people I've had to meet, especially if I ever completely lose my channel and lose any motivation to do all this, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, but if there's anything I'll take away from experiences that I will never look badly upon or remember in a non-fond way, I'd say Kibbs and Arch and meeting you and being a part of that community has definitely been the major highlight, and I'm very happy that all that happened. It's definitely one of the best parts for me, as well as building my own community, talking to people, talking in chat, Discord, having a group you can feel comfortable around regularly. I'd say that all that is invaluable, and I will never regret everything that I've had the pleasure to experience through all of this. I've loved every moment of it. And even though again I trogged along for 7 or so years here on YouTube and never really built this kind of community at any point, it's invaluable to have that now, and it brings a lot of lighter, easier to breathe moments each day, I think.
And for me, like I said, I had just semi-involuntarily, I think that's the best word, left a community that I was tight with for 2 to 3 years. And it's kind of like a bad breakup, I guess is the best way to word it. But, it's... Even all the negative experiences that I've had come from the community, either through my own hand or through someone just being a dick. I still wouldn't trade it just because of the sheer amount of positive experiences.
Yeah. Jorge says in the chat, this is to both of us. If you could change the name of your community, he put that in air quotes. I question why he put that in air quotes. What name would you give?
I think he means channel names?
I don't know. I like my channel name.
Yeah, I like mine too. Just because mine, and this was something me and Kibbs kind of agree to disagree on. He wanted me to take a look at my name and my profile picture because
you disagreed with him on both points. You didn't want to change your profile pic, your channel art, or your name.
Well, and I have very specific reasons for it.
Well, no, I know your reasoning. I'm just saying, like, you disagreed with him on all those points.
Well,
you phrased it like you disagreed. The one thing I disagreed with him, I was like, well...
Well, I was talking about specifically for the profile picture, but yeah, I disagree with him on both. I mean, the Ludus Infinium thing, I understand that one a lot more, so it's not that I'm completely against it, it's that I just don't know what to change it to. But as far as the profile picture, it's that my it has a lot to do with who I am as a person. That is me personified in that profile picture. My love for 40K. I've loved 40K for 15 years, and the fact that about 4 or 5 years ago I converted to Judaism, and that's very important to me. I don't always act it, but it is. So that personifies me in a profile picture, and that's why that one I'm much more stubborn. Stubborn is a good word to let go of. And maybe I shouldn't with, because his argument is with Games Workshop acting the way they are, they like, oh no, that's 40K, like, yeah, it's fucking fan made, but that's a whole different.
The upside is you own the copyright in terms of like the artwork, but unfortunately in terms of what it depicts, you don't own it. That's the shitty part. The copyright law needs to be more clear about what separates those lines and which is like. For example, I did the artwork for my original channel art forever ago. Don't get me wrong, the helmet itself was pre-made, but I changed some filters on it. I fucked around with it in Photoshop to make it more my own. And when I did that, it became my official work. It was mine. But at the same time, it depicts something that is not mine. It's a Astartes helmet. The concept is not mine to own or monetize, but the work itself it is. So that's, again, that line though it's not clear which takes lead. Is it more important that if you made it yourself or not, or is it more important that is it more important that you made it yourself or not, or is it more important that you just you own the concept? It's I think with concepts, I think legal standing of concepts should be a lot weaker than if you created an original piece of work or artwork yourself. I think that should take precedence because concepts are so finicky as it is. But the thing is, under the law, it's not clear. A judge pretty much, it's just about judge preference if it goes to court. It's like, oh, does this judge lean more towards like, oh, well, this artwork's original, so it's theirs, or is this a judge that's more like, oh, well, technically the concept isn't yours, so you can't monetize it?
And in my case, mine is transformative enough, in my opinion. And I'm not a judge; I have no legal experience, but my argument for mine being transformative is show me a religious space marine who doesn't follow the fucking Imperial Creed.
Well, the thing is, even that, the helmet you're using, though, this is where I would disagree with Kibbs. You're not using a standard Astartes helmet in your artwork. Because the standard one is got the filter. Yeah, you're using an earlier Mark. Is that a Mark 3 or Mark 4?
Actually, you want to hear the funny part about this? This was kind of a mix-up between me and the artist. There was a miscommunication, but I love it. It's supposed to be Mark 3 armor, but I believe that's Mark 7 armor with a Mark 3 helmet. But I'm cool with that, though.
Aesthetically, though, again, it's not like an exact copy of like the standard poster boy setup of the Astartes in 40K. So the thing is, I think your artwork is original enough, you don't have to change it. The only part I think that might get you is the gun. Like, thankfully, it's pointed towards the camera, so you can't quite make out that it's a bolter. But the shadow kind of gives it that esque of a bolter. But at the same time, you can argue, well, strictly speaking, you don't see the side of it, you don't see the full build of it. It's not necessarily a bolter; it could be any gun. And the only other thing is like the pack on the back of the Astartes is that as well is. Fincarn
brought up a really good point. Religious space marines that don't follow the Imperial Creed, Chaos Marine.
Pretty much. Hey, Captain UFO, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. But yeah, strictly speaking, I think you're fine with your artwork. But that's my opinion. Kibbs has his perspective. I think yours is original enough, and conceptually, it looks different enough from the standard Astartes that you can claim it's not that.
And I think it's more of he's taking like the big brother approach, which is something else I really love about Kibbs, is that he does look out for other YouTubers as well, and that's a really good attitude. It's really good.
Hey, Reverend Norse, welcome to the stream. Sorry.
Hey, Reverend Norse.
Yeah, I had to welcome him.
I think in his case, it's like, hey, you might want to be better safe than sorry. That way, you don't have to do it, but this is just in case they want to act, like little shits again.
Yeah.
Because GW has proven that they are not above that.
They've done for years, for decades. Since the 90s, really. Pretty much since near their inception, legally speaking, they've always been very aggressive. So, yeah, that's been a problem. Alright, so I think we're ready to move on to the next topic.
Which should be
yes, this is the namesake of the podcast. We're finally to it, people.
We're sticking with Blizzard.
Speaking of Blizzard, the Overwatch League league member fined the title's weird here. But let me switch to it on the topics list here. Boom. So, here we are. The Overwatch League. Overwatch League fined former pro player for sharing Pepe meme.
So dumb.
This is the dumbest shit I've seen in a long time. And that's saying quite a lot. Because I've seen quite a bit of dumb shit lately.
I don't know. This does kind of compete with the kid stealing $20,000.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I think that was a little less ridiculous than this. Because that kid... Because really it just comes down to that parent was an idiot for putting any of their... financial information around a teenager. It's just foolish.
Yeah.
But with this, the thing is, there's no excuse for this. The other one, there was the excuse of, oh, dumb kid and too trusting of a parent.
Dumb parent.
Equally dumb parent. Here, it's not as simple as that. It's just blatant bullshit here. This is ridiculous. And it makes no sense.
I love the headline. For allegedly posting a racist meme in the form of Pepe. Like, what? What?
A former Overwatch posting a racist, in quote, meme on a form. Oh, fuck me.
The best part is, I don't know if you know this, but this got put into Warlords of Draenor. There is a bird that you can get to land on your head, and the name of the bird is Pepe. And it's still around.
Are they going to find themselves?
I don't know.
This is so dumb. You know where the Pepe being a quote unquote racist symbol comes from, right?
Fuck no.
Okay, so get this. 4chan fucked with the rest of the world by creating a fake traversy.
Of course.
Fake controversy.
Yeah, they're good at that.
Where they literally claimed there was multiple things they did, and I think this has to do with 2 or 3 of them. But they made one where they apparently a white supremacist symbol was doing the OK symbol.
Oh yeah.
Because it's supposed to be like W for white and this for like power and some shit. Last I fucking checked, this meant okay. Some people use it to go sweet, but it's not. I don't get why people want to give for a group you hate so much. Why do you want to give them so many things? Like why? Why do you want to give them? Nathan, thank you so very much for the generosity. Idea for Ludus: draw your marine made out of stone to. Well, the thing is, Ludus didn't make it. He a friend of a friend made it, right?
No, a sibling of a friend made it.
A sibling of a friend made it. Okay.
And the thing is, like, you do not want me to draw it. I have no artistic ability whatsoever.
I have some artistic ability, not very much.
I have autistic ability, not artistic ability.
Hey, I'm autistic and I do damn well.
It's funny because I never would have guessed, and I have severe ADHD, and it's like I can tell when people are ADHD or autistic, and it's like, yeah, you don't seem it. It's like, yeah, I'm autistic. Like, huh?
Yeah.
It's like
downside of high functioning. Downside of high functioning is it's a lot less. People are a lot less forgiving when you're high functioning. So in many ways, if you're high functioning, you have it worse.
Yeah.
Because you're just normal enough that they don't allow you to get away with shit. If you're low functioning, people will let you get away with pretty much murder. So
I wish that was a joke.
I wish it was, but I'd rather be low functioning in that sense.
Just to get away with murder.
Pretty much. They want to give things to white supremacist people because that justifies all the other SJWBS they're doing. Yeah, that's about the only reasoning, because it makes no sense. Why would you allow this group you hate to own this? Why? Why do you give them anything? Like, because what next? Like, if a white supremacist drinks water on camera, nope, now if you drink water, you're a white supremacist. That's the retardation we're heading towards. It's just so stupid. If you hate these people, why do you give them the fucking time of day with it? I don't care if a white supremacist does the OK symbol. It's not. It doesn't mean white power. Just because some idiot. And the thing is, it'd be dumb enough if a white supremacist truly did this shit. But it was a bunch of 4chan assholes who did this intentionally to fuck with people.
Again, I don't think they did it with. I don't think they did it with an SJW mindset. I think
no, they didn't. They did it to fuck with them.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they did it to help the SJWs. I think they did it to fuck with SJWs.
100%. That's why they did it. And I think the sad part is they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And I can't believe Blizzard is still falling for it. Everybody with half a brain cell knows this is bullshit. Reverend North, thank you so much, man, for the generosity. Man, you've been awesome lately. My favorite 4chan stunt was the free bleeding. I don't know that one. I don't think I want to with that name.
Well, that now. I have got to know.
It's ridiculous. But the full message from Nathan, by the way, earlier was, I think I stopped at one point. Draw your marine made out of stone to reference a golem from Hebrew mythology. They are seen as artificial protectors for the innocent.
I mean, that would be a cool concept, but I think that would be a little much, and that would probably I think that would add too much to it and make it hard to read. That'd be my own, unless it was like they have the statues of the Emperor and Gilliam, and if I did it like as a statue of Ludus Infinium, but then that would make even less sense, so. Oh, for fuck's sake.
What?
I'm reading it.
Reading what?
Operation Free Bleeding that got set up by 4chan.
Please don't. To continue with this one, so the point is, so I'll read the article to give you the full idea. So new information has been revealed in the case of the former pro Overwatch League player Ted Silkthread Wang and his fine for discussing. By the way, that is such an unfortunate last name. I'm sorry. You can't say that last name without a grin at the very least. And his fine for discussing quote unquote hate symbols. Silkthread has posted the email he received from the league revealing the details of the accusations he received for posting about Pepe the Frog. Back in Season 1 of the Pro Overwatch League, Silkthread was playing for the Los Angeles Valiant. It was during his time here that he posted a tweet asking, "Does anybody else love Pepe the Frog?" Soon after this was done, the Valiant social media manager demanded demanded it be deleted. And while Silkthread did so, the Overwatch League had still noticed and dealt him a $1,000 fine. A $1,000 fine for a fucking Pepe the Frog meme. This fine was
deleted it.
This fine was described as being imposed for quote unquote posting support for a racist meme. The email he received also included such statements as, "Your comments violate the spirit of diversity and inclusiveness that make Overwatch great." Didn't they ban and fine Blitz Chung for his statement about support Hong Kong revolution of our time?
That sounds familiar, but I don't.
Didn't they say that they did that because they don't allow political stuff and that this is just a gaming sphere? But then they say shit like this: "Your comments violate the spirit of diversity and inclusiveness about Overwatch that make Overwatch great." For a Pepe the Frog meme, you retards?
I mean, they can't help it. They don't. I'm going to steal this from another YouTube channel that I watch, but it's just because it's so funny. They have as many brain cells as an overdone McNugget.
Yeah. This makes no sense. It just, for me, I can't even read this without my brain going, y'all are as inconsistent as dumb as it gets. Like, oh, this meme is racist. Why? Because white supremacists used it. So, who cares? There's like, what, 0.0001% of the population of the planet is a supremacist of any race? In America, there's like 0.001% of the population is fucking white supremacists.
Silphiel and Dara answered this.
Why the fuck
about the other guy? They took his prize money, and they think they banned him. That sounds right to me.
Yeah, that sounds what they did to Blitzchung.
Yeah,
this is insanity. This is insanity. Like, why are we giving the memes and the cool shit to the white supremacists? I wouldn't give a shit if they did anything. Ignore them. You only give them any kind of power and influence when you make the things they do significant. Make it so they're so pointless and insignificant, you don't do anything in response to what they do. If they do an okay symbol, do it all day long. All day long. And it's not supporting white supremacists. No, it's showing them that it's not theirs to own. It's not theirs. It's not.
I have an argument on why that it's always the white supremacists with the memes and the jokes. It's because SJWs are they're so wrapped up in their own thing and so brain fried that they don't realize that a meme is just a joke. They don't understand jokes or memes. That's why it's mostly everyone else doing it and not them.
They really don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I mean, that's the best I could come up with.
It's just so dumb. It's the same tired argument. It's the same argument it's always been. It's Hitler drank water. So does that mean everybody is now Hitler because they drink water? That's how dumb this statement is. It's just as dumb as it's ever been. It's just as dumb and brain dead as it's always fucking been. And it only seems to get stupider the more I see these fucking, like, why do you surrender to this minute microscopic amount of the overall human populace? Like,
I do know the answer to that question, and it's the same reason GW does it. It's because they screech the loudest. If more people Arch just put out a video on this talking about where the email campaign is going. When more people stand up and start fighting back, it'll slow that shit down or even stop it. It's because the ones that screech the loudest are the ones like, you're hurting our fifis. Okay, now you need to stop hurting their fifis. Fuck you.
That's ridiculous. Fincarn just said, all right, well, before that, Captain UFO said sticks and stones may break my bones, but jokes will never offend me. That's how I definitely live by my life. I do not care what people say. You know, talk all day long. Talk is cheap, and SJWs don't realize that at all. They don't seem to get it at fucking all. They put so much weight and importance on insignificant statements and comments. It's just so stupid. I can't imagine living my life that weak and soft. That jokes and that memes and statements can at all affect my day. I don't give a shit what you say. I give a shit what you do. That's it. Thank you for the $2.99 British sterling pounds. Fuck, did I say that right? Who would win, Pro Esports League or One Froggy Boy? Well, apparently, One Froggy Boy, who just did an OK sign. That's like his Super Saiyan. It's like, ugh.
And by the way, Asmagon has heard some of the shit that's been said to me just about being a Jew.
They told you to get back in the oven.
Yeah.
And those are SJWs who said it to him, too.
Yeah, it's one of the SJWs, like, yeah, you need to climb back in the oven. And it's like...
Because they're inclusive and diverse.
Yeah. It's like...
and progressive.
I don't fucking care. That just shows that they're fucking dumb.
It's ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. Fincarn, I'm sorry, I didn't actually finish reading your thing. But they don't want them to be insignificant. They talking about white supremacists. They are the boogeymen. So long they can hold the threat of the boogeyman over everyone's heads, they can justify their power grabs. Yeah, that's pretty much the reasoning. It's just manipulation, and the fact that people fall for it, it makes one lose faith in humanity. It really does. it's like, why would you look for more things to make you upset in the world? I don't get it. I just strictly do not understand that logic.
Some people have a victim complex.
I don't get why you'd want to be.
No, I agree. That's it.
I don't understand. What good comes from everybody looking down on you as some kind of walking pinball?
Have you ever heard of the medical condition Munchausen's?
I've heard the name. I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
Okay, so what this is someone subconsciously, not, and sometimes even intentionally, but subconsciously making themselves sick. And it can be from many things. I think one of the most interesting ones I've heard is someone taking low doses of bleach to essentially force themselves into a critical health condition, and they do it to get attention.
Yeah, but it's a rare. Isn't Munchausen's rare?
Oh yes, it's extremely rare. But no, I'm saying this is probably comparable. Just instead of being like a physical medical condition, this is them literally saying like, "No, I have it where like it's like the Munchausen's for fifis." You know, like, no, this offends me, so I have it worse. Shit like that. It's just not the case. You know, everyone's looking at him like, no. Like, get thicker skin, grow a pair, and you'll be fine. It's like they don't understand that. And especially, oh, God, especially if you tell them to grow a pair, they don't understand that that's a fucking figure of speech either. I've done that one a couple times. So, I mean, it's like...
You can't expect them to have any kind of logic or reasoning. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I do not understand how you can live life like this. It's just, I've done everything in my power to not be a victim. Not of my own disability, not of bullying or harassment. I have done everything in my power to stand above that shit and stand up for myself and say, I can solve my own goddamn problems. I don't care I don't care. I don't want other people to surround me like, oh, hugs, you know, it'll feel better. Like, because it as good as that is sometimes, it loses all value when I'm constantly begging for it. I can't understand that. Like, why do you want people to feel bad for you? It's only a negative all the way around. You only feel worse because you are the cause of other people's stress and irritation. You yourself are acting stressed and irritated, so eventually you will become so. There's no benefit here. There's no net benefit to being a victim. And I cannot understand living like that with that mentality. It's just insanity. It's just insanely stupid.
And I learned a good counter to that through Judaism. Now, I was raised Christian, which really messes with people. That I went from Christian to Judaism. And one of the things I learned is we're all responsible for ourselves and for our own action. So this is one of those things where I took that deeply to heart. So if there's something about me that, you know, I personally don't like, it's on me to fix it. It's not me to depend on, you know, like, it's not me to depend on, say, like, you know, hey, ask my guy, I've got this severe character flaw. What do I do? You know, like that. Like, it's different saying, like, hey, you know, do you have any tips on helping me with YouTube? As it is like, hey, I'm just a shitty human being. Help me change that. It doesn't work that way. If you want to make active changes in your life, you can get advice, but you have to be the one to actively change it. And that's one of the things I've also noticed on the SJW camp is they are very quick to deny responsibility. So that's step one. You know, I hate saying it's kind of like an AA thing. You know, you've got to stand up and be like, hi, my name is Ludus. I'm a bad person. And you got to be willing to not only say it, but work on it. If you think that is a quality that makes you a bad person, you need to be the one to sit there and change it.
You need to... The thing is, I'm all for people admitting that they have faults and working on them, but it's when you're doing it because you're looking for attention, when you're going on Twitter and going, hey, I'm so sorry, I've objectified people in the past, I will do to go better, I'm a bad person. It's like, well, those things that you did you intend to hurt people? Did you intend to be a bad person? Or did you Was it just the mindset you had at the time and you're growing now? You don't need to announce it. Just be better. There's no need to apologize for past actions when you're a different person now. And I hate it when people apologize for that shit.
I absolutely agree with that 100%. And yeah, that's something like, I believe people have the right to change, but I am very critical of people who say they've changed and don't show it. And that's like, it's like, I used to be an asshole, but I'm not an asshole anymore, but you still act like an asshole. But I'm not. But
totally. And the
thing
is,
pushed over that kid.
to a degree, nobody truly 100% changes. The person you were last year, you're always going to be to a degree, but people do change in the sense of their ideas, how they handle certain behaviors, how they channel certain attitudes. That completely changes. But I think certain core, like an angry person last year is still going to always have anger issues next year. The difference is how they handle it. Maybe back last year they punched walls and beat in the side of buildings. Well, now they just exercise when they get angry. They do push-ups. They do punching bag. They do they find ways to channel those habits and those bad behaviors. Thing is, we as humans, there's certain aspects about us that never changes and about our personalities. But what does change is how we handle them, how we channel them, how we put them into either constructive or destructive behaviors. That changes all the time, constantly. That is in constant flux with our behaviors and how we handle them. So I think that's what a lot of people miss in terms of like people changing and improving over time.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. It's one of those things where I can get behind. People don't change who they inherently are, but they change how they react to situation.
Beliefs do change, I think, very much so. But again, that's not like the core behavioral stuff. That's actual like thoughts. Same with humor. People's humor changes over time. That's not like a core aspect of their being. That's more just perspective. But those are constantly changing as well. But when I talk about things that don't change, I mean like certain attitudes. Like, are you prone to anger? Are you prone to sadness? Are you prone to depression? I don't think any of those things change, truly, but how we handle them is what changes.
And Fincarn just asked a very good question. Problem is who sets the standards? I used to be an asshole, but I changed. How much do people need to change to not be an asshole, following your example? Well, not using the asshole example exactly, because that is a hard one. You're exactly right. That would be a hard one to judge. So let's say you have someone who says, I'm going to improve myself and not mooch off with people. And then does it every month. And every month they just come back like, hey, I just couldn't find a way to help myself, so now I need you to support me. And they're like, but I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better this month so I don't have to come back to you. And at the end of that month, they come back, hey, I need you all to support me. I wasn't able to do it, and so on and so forth. And that's not improving oneself. That's just saying you're going to do it and putting the record on repeat. Wow, I used record as an example. Damn it, now. I am old now. I feel old.
Why do you feel old?
Because I used a record as an example.
Records were the thing for a while.
They are coming back though, so maybe
they're a niche. I know there's a lot of record collectors these days. Yeah.
Oh no, they are remaking some of them. They're actually coming out with newer record players.
That's weird.
So they're actually making a small comeback. Not a huge comeback, but they're making a small comeback. Which supposedly music sounds better on records. I don't think so, but sure.
But yeah, the Overwatch League pro player, he got fined his 1K, and someone sent me a picture of the meme he used. It was Pepe the Frog doing the OK sign, which was what they were calling was racist. Not to mention Pepe, as the frog itself, was considered a white supremacist symbol as well, again, due to 4chan. They're responsible for both the OK sign and the frog himself.
I mean, look, they said it, but I don't really think it's their fault. They said some stupid shit, and then stupid people bit into it. So I can't really blame 4chan for other people's stupidity.
I don't blame them at all. They're fucking with people, and people are falling for it.
Yeah, I blame the stupid people falling for it.
I blame the stupid people 100%. I don't blame 4chan. They fucked with people. People should have been tricked for maybe 5 minutes and then go, oh yeah, that doesn't make a fucking lick of sense once I think about it. The fact that nobody did is what I question about the human race. It's ridiculous.
It's almost like people can't think for themselves anymore.
They can't. They really cannot. It's the sad truth. Alright. So this leads us to the final topic, which...
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
This one is I haven't read this very thoroughly, so I'll listen. But this one's on you. This is your topic. This one is the Red Dead Online's Naturalist update forces you to make an impossible choice.
So there were 2 articles with this, and the second one is so much better. But I'm gonna briefly go.
I'll just keep this one up. Yeah, but feel free to load up the other one on your end.
Yeah, so so Red Dead Online has been quiet for a very long time. They've just released a new Frontier Pursuit, the Naturalist, along with another Outlaw Pass, and it's the Naturalist. So this sounded kind of cool. So for anyone who knows, and this shows my taste, my favorite was actually the overwhelmingly least favorite of the community, which is the Trader, because it's hunting. It's selling the corpses or the skins or whatever. So I always liked hunting in Red Dead, so that's why that appealed to me. Well, this is similar, but it's not the same thing. So you get two new NPCs, Harriet and Gus. Harriet wants you to stalk legendary animals that they've added into the online, which I can't wait to see that shit show.
I haven't played the online at all.
Well, I'm just thinking of like putting in legendary animals with that many players on a server at one time. Oh, that's gonna be hilarious. So what Harriet wants you to do is tranquilize them and take a blood sample to study the legendary animals. What Gus wants you to do is murder the legendary animal, and you get legendary clothes from it. Now, this was released 2 days ago, I think. Let me look at the date real quick. A day ago. This morning... No, I'm sorry, not even this morning. 2 hours ago, they released another article. Red Dead Online's new NPC will drug you if you kill animals. Now, I love clickbaity headlines, but you know what? This one's not clickbaity at all. It's fucking honest. So, if you write up to Harriet with... Now, they didn't specify. I'm going to assume it's any animal hide or any animal carcass on you or on your horse. She'll pull out, and there's a video of this, she'll pull out what looks like a perfume bottle and spray you right in the face and drug you, and you'll wake up in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my god, they put PETA in the game. I saw this and I could not stop laughing. It's just the dumbest shit.
I love the PETA reference.
So
accurate.
It's like, so no, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love the wording. You're gonna absolutely love the wording.
Okay.
It's not a one-time thing either. Keep hunting, and she'll keep spraying you. It's the only way you'll learn. What the fuck am I, a cat? Gus, meanwhile, rewards you for killing animals, giving you unique outfits. One of the main reasons to play Red Dead.
Okay, so rule number 1, don't go up to this bitch with a dead animal, but go up to the other one.
Not surprisingly, then, he's proving to be a bit more popular among players.
No shit, he's not spraying you. Not all guys are into getting sprayed, you know what I'm saying?
I love the sentence, keep hunting and she'll keep spraying you. Because that could be taken so hard out of context, it's funny.
I could make you so many sexual jokes off of that, you have no idea.
Oh no, I do have an idea, unfortunately.
Oh
So they have a meme below. Harriet Davenport, can you give me legendary animal map to study the animals in a humane way? To study animals in a humane way? Yes. Actually hunts animals to sell to Gus like a boss. And then right below that, legendary Vermintide tea. There are so many memes of this going around already, and this was just released yesterday.
I haven't touched the onlines at all because I heard it was really buggy at first. I never heard any fixes though.
No, they've actually fixed it.
Okay, so they fixed all the issues. Okay, so I'm gonna have to check out the online then at some point.
It's pretty fun. I'm when I get my Xbox Gold back up, I'm actually debating about getting this. And one of the meme, the very first meme is, I really enjoyed paying 25 gold bars just to get drugged. To be fair, I am that kind of asshole. I would keep hunting animals and riding up to it just to keep getting drugged.
So
there should be an achievement for like 25 times.
Are these pictures of players right here, or is this picture I have on the stream here?
Okay,
is this her? If so, if she has an issue with you killing animals, why the fuck is she wearing a
I don't think
head?
That's her.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. I'm going to send you the meme that way over Discord. That way you can put it on there. The second picture is her, and she looks like a fucking crazy lady too. Like she looks like the stereotypical crazy ass cat lady. So the fact that they put in there, keep doing it and she'll keep spraying you, makes this absolutely hilarious.
Harriet Davenport. Let me move Mike here. Harriet Davenport, can you give me a legendary animal map to study animals and humans? Okay, so that's her. So she looks like a crazy lady.
Yeah, like I said.
To study animals in a humane way? Yes. Actually hunts animal to sell to Gus like a boss. Legendary garment time teehee.
I love the raccoon head, I'm not gonna lie. It's essentially like fucking scalping the top half of a raccoon and putting it on your head.
Pretty much. Oh, sweet Jesus.
But does she not look like the unhinged cat lady?
She does look like an unhinged cat lady in like her younger years. Soon to be the crazy cat lady around the corner. 5,000 cats? That's no biggie. She's going to get 2,000 more by the end of the year. Trying to break records.
I was so worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried about doing this as one of my stories, and then I saw that they released a second article on it and read it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm golden.
Nah, we golden, chief. We golden.
They gave me so much to laugh at. I was just going through it. I'm like, you can't be serious. And then I watched the video of where she actually sprays the character in the face. I'm like, oh my god, they weren't kidding.
I spray you.
No, she literally gets pissed. Like, how dare? Like the perfect. And I don't.
Wait, can you shoot her?
No.
What?
No.
Why?
Because it's online and it's not fair. But the best part is it's like, and I hate doing this because it is kind of stereotypical. It's like the stereotypical SJW. How dare you?
I don't know if this is the most beautiful thing I've heard or the most oddly sad. Like, why would anyone even work with her? Like, at all?
I don't know, but I kind of get why they're saying, not surprisingly then, Gus is proving to be a bit more popular among players. Like,
I wonder why.
No shit!
Yeah, he doesn't spray you. He's like, hey, go kill an animal, bring me a skin, and I'll pay you. It's like, oh, well, practical, nice gentleman. All right, I'll go hunting. This crazy bitch, you're gonna go study the animal, but you're not gonna hurt it, right? Well, actually, I shot it. Spray!
Because, like, okay, so I can kind of get I can kind of get doing the job for because it's like to study why the legendaries are different. I just don't care.
I don't
so
get it.
I can get it for some people, but I like for a completionist, I would probably do it if there was like an achievement linked to it or some shit. But other than that, I wouldn't do it, and I would just fucking murder all the animals. I mean, I already do anyway, so it's like, hey, cool. I get more bonuses for doing something I already did to begin with. Thanks, Rockstar! I'm going hunting!
Oh my god.
Ball says to get sprayed, that's the only reason. No, Ball, this is the kind of getting sprayed that you don't want to happen.
This isn't the, wow, I did it. I only had to work my tongue the other way. No, it's not that kind of spray.
No, it's not.
It's the, I'm being sprayed like a dog, like a bad dog or a cat.
Captain UFO says Karen has that anti-racist spray ready.
Oh god.
Now all they need to do at this point, just to make that joke even funnier, is put in someone. And I don't. How much do you stay up about Twitch news?
I ever since I jumped off Twitch, pretty much virtually I don't at all.
Okay, then you might know the story, you might not. So all they need is someone out there who is pretending to be a deer. And if you hunt them and kill them, then you can spray their face.
Wait. That chick.
Yeah.
I saw news about hers because I was still on Twitch at the time.
I'm sorry. But like, imagine like putting that in as an Easter egg. I mean, Rockstar's kind of edgy. I could see them doing it, but like that would be something worth getting sprayed in the face for, because that would make it so funny as hell. You killed one of us.
That'd be, people would abuse the fuck out of that though.
Oh yes, they would, and that's why Rockstar would do it.
I have no words.
I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Look at all the
You're not wrong. That's why I have nothing. Oh god.
What I love most about that joke is that I could actually see Rockstar doing that as a joke. Like just some random Easter egg. You walk into the middle of like this clearing and there's just a random person prancing around like, yes, I'm a deer.
Eating grass.
Eating grass, yeah. Like, out of all the other bullshit Easter eggs they put in, that would probably be one of the better ones.
That would be hilarious. So are they still going forward with that like safety council thing, or is that?
Oh no, she got fired from that.
Okay, fuck.
She got fired from that within a week.
No
Literally,
shit. Like shortly after, it's like, I have power, and people should be scared of me. It's like, okay, Hitler, put down the Sieg Heil and fuck off.
No, that's actually kind of what they
Jesus Christ. Kenneth Robinson says, I nearly did a spit take at your tongue joke. Hey, I got 1,000 more. Again, sexual humor's my thing. I love making jokes about that shit.
I mean, yeah, and Kyle brings up a good point. They literally put a casino in GTA Online in the middle of the loot box gambling debate. So yeah,
that's how edgy they are. Like, yeah, well, fucking A.
They give no shits, and you know what? That's one of the reasons. Like, I don't really like Grand Theft Auto games like anymore.
I enjoyed Grand Theft Auto. It did wear out its welcome after a while for like GTA 5. Yeah. It didn't take long for it to wear its welcome out, but that's because it's been, how long did they just maintain that in the online for, like, what, 5 years?
But I mean, you know, it's not even that for me. It's just there'll be times. It's one of those games where there'll be times where I want to play. It's kind of like World of Warcraft. Like maybe once or twice a year, I'll be like, I want to play that for a month, and then I'm done.
Yeah,
but it's
only difference is you only have to pay for GTA 5 online once.
That's true too. But the thing for me is I respect Rockstar as a company because they're not afraid to make the fucking edgy jokes.
Why would they?
they're like, yes, we made an edgy joke. We don't give a shit.
Well, the thing is, you gotta have a sense of humor. And to make games that are that loved and that played for so long, you need a fucking sense of humor. And that's why I respect Rockstar. At least from that sense. They've done some shady business shit over the years, but as game developers, they have more fun than most.
I will say this, they're also very quick to defend their name and their brand. Because...
Well, that's all companies, though.
Well,
like, you gotta defend your fucking brand.
Well, no, Rockstar does it to a whole nother level. I don't know if you know about this story, but, God, I don't know how long ago it was now. It's like 7 years ago. There was an 8-year-old in Louisiana who was playing Grand Theft Auto 5, pulled a revolver out of his grandmother's handbag, and killed his grandmother with it.
Jesus.
And everyone was blaming fucking Rockstar. And Rockstar's like, wait a minute, so he was playing, an 8-year-old was playing our game rated for 18 and up, or 17 and up. There was an unattended gun that he had free access to, and that's our fault? Where were the parents? And apparently, like, he lived with the grandmother or something like that. I don't really know the full details of it. And they were like, don't blame us, blame the parenting, because...
I don't want to get into this too thoroughly, but I'll just say this once and leave it at that. I don't want to get into a full conversation about it.
Right.
Fucking people who blame video games for violence and for horrible acts that occur in real life are idiots.
Right.
It's not the game's responsibility. They are very clear about the age range. The majority of games are made for adults. Children should not be playing them. But even if they do, it's been proven time and time and time again that video games are not responsible for real-world violence. People who are already prone to real-world violence, who happen to play video games, are going to be the source of violence. The video game would not have affected them one way or the other. And the people who believe that are basing that belief off of pure ignorance and idiocy.
Yeah, that's
all I'm going to say on it. That's it. I'm not going to get into the full rabbit hole of this because we'll be here a while.
No. Well, no, and that's why I was saying I like Rockstar's, response to this because, like, yeah, it's shitty that it happened, but I mean, whose fault was it really? And yeah, so most gaming companies are like, oh no, we're sorry, we'll try and turn it down or some stupid shit like that. But Rockstar gives no shits.
Nor should they. It's not their responsibility.
No, I agree 100%.
Bad parenting's bad parenting. That's fucking it.
Fincarn said, I have a couple of friends who somehow believe video games don't cause violence, but they cause Nazism somehow. I saw a stupid video, and I think... You might want to check, not that I'm going to tell you who you should and shouldn't be friends with, but you might want to review why you're friends. But I think Arch did a response to this, but someone put out a video. It might have, and they were responding to, like, Call of Duty about... how Call of Duty... Or no, it wasn't Call of Duty.
No, I think I know who you're talking about. Were you talking about... Yes, I did a response video to this forever ago. This is older content for me. But it was the... for some reason I want to say Zero Punctuation. No, not Zero Punctuation. It was the guys who do... shit.
Because I know Arch did a response to it as well, I think.
Yeah, he did. I did, Arch did, and the Act Man did, Chris Raygun did. Pretty much everybody did a response of some kind to this video. I'm trying to remember the channel, though, so don't tell me, because I really want to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying... It would be under Asmagon Reacts?
I don't believe so. I think it'd still be under my main channel. Hold up.
Okay.
Let me
I'm scrolling through it now trying to find it, because this was a long time ago.
It was a decent chunk ago. I was late to the topic, if I recall correctly. I can't remember if I ended up privating the video because it was just doing badly and it didn't need to be on my repertoire, but pretty sure it's still there. Let me scroll through one more time because I was eyeballing it very slowly. Okay, it would have been in that chunk. It's not there, so it must be unlisted. So
okay.
You go to my studio, and hopefully I didn't delete it. I don't think I did, but possibilities there. But I did a response to it. I know that. I'm fairly certain it's still on the channel.
It'll be a lot easier for you to find it because I didn't see it on yours, and when you said it was unlisted, I just now jumped over to Arches, and that's a lot of videos to dig through.
Yeah, I just got a wicked sense of deja vu too. I feel like I've had this conversation before. Come on, I know you're there. Okay.
Was it before or after Stardust got hacked?
Found it. Extra credits, and it's private.
Credits.
Yes, it is. I'll publicize that because I don't think I said anything that ridiculous. If anyone does go and watch that, keep in mind it was a pretty early video for this channel, so it's not going to be that high quality. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't script anything. I just kind of said everything on top of my head. So there's probably a lot of sighing and like but you know you're probably gonna hear that a lot. So I wouldn't even bother going to watch it. But it was extra credits. I did a response to it as well. But
by the way, I want to apologize to the chat because I was actually looking it up on a different tab over top of the stream and I couldn't see the chat. And they're just shouting extra credits at us.
I didn't want to look at the chat intentionally. I wanted to remember on my own or find it on my own. Sorry, chat, but I didn't want to lose. But yeah, it was extra credits. I did a response to it, and it was utter shit. They were talking about Battlefield and, being forced to play as Nazis. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's about team balancing, and it's a World War II based game. You fucking idiots.
I love the argument that they have. Because this is so balanced. It's like, let people pick the team they want to be on. But if they pick Nazis, artificially increase the length of time they have to wait. Like, what the
Yeah, let's increase the wait time just so people can choose whether to be Nazis or not. And if the fucking say oh well, this would result in a shorter wait times for fascists. Say well, but those wait times can be artificially extended. Aren't you guys people who used to criticize and give your opinions on game design, and you guys are saying this shit? Are you fucking kidding me?
You don't understand that's not like game designers don't want to piss off their community. That would piss off their community hard.
It was just the stupidest thing I have ever heard. And the thing is, it was so bad because of who it came from. Extra credits were known to give criticism and discuss the gaming industry and game development as well as history. Those are two things that their channel covers very thoroughly, and they literally held that archaic, dumbass perspective that has not only been debunked 1,001 times, but has been completely eroded, and almost nobody believes it except the old fart politicians who preach it every couple years.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I love what Kyle Jordan Gaming said. Worst of all, what about playing as Ultramarines in Dawn of War? Ultra Smurfs are bad Smurfs.
Fuck the Ultra Smurfs. Horace says, blaming game has always been a reliable scapegoat when blaming bad parenting is the most likely suspect. I suppose. I just don't understand that. It's like, I get it, you don't want to be held responsible for the actions of your children when they misbehave, but guess what? You should be. You're the parent. Everything they do or don't do is on you until they're 18. Once they're 18, and this is in the US, of course. Other countries probably have it different. But here in the US, you are 100% responsible for the actions of your child pretty much through to the point that they're 18.
Sometimes even older.
Sometimes older. Sometimes parents get dragged into those cases, and those are bullshit. Because in my opinion, if you're 18 and you fuck up, that's on you. Hell, if you're 16 or 17 when you fuck up, that's also on you. But
yeah, I was gonna say it depends on again 16, 17. Like if it's with intent, nah, you can try as an adult.
Yeah. It's just, you see that all the time though. Oh, it's the video games to blame. It's like, no, you're just a bad parent. Sorry.
Dorn was right. Hashtag Dorn was right. Hashtag Codex. Hashtag Gilliman lied. Loyalist died. Why did they bring back the one Loyalist Primarch that nobody wanted?
Cause it's a grimdark, and they have to make the worst things happen. I guess that would be that'd be the one reason.
What if they wanted the worst thing to happen? If they really wanted to keep it grimdark, they should have retconned the mirror cracked and brought back a loyal Fulgrim.
I would have preferred a loyal Fulgrim. Generally, I would have even taken something as ridiculous as Horus coming back from the ether.
Actually, I would have gone for that too. But like, no, so for a grimdark universe, that fits better than Gilliman.
I hate the
like imagine like Horus or a loyal Fulgrim, both a loyal Horus and a loyal Fulgrim trying to reintegrate into the Imperium after all the shit they've done.
They probably wouldn't be able to. That would be like the tragedy of those stories is they would be tried and killed.
GW, we're giving you gold here. Fucking take it.
As we're going, funnily enough, that said years before that video that they believed video games could discuss mature themes in sophisticated way. It's sad that the things have changed for the worst. Yeah, thing is, Extra Credit has actually become like their own company. I think they're an actual studio or something now. So I think they fell for the same thing that, you know, game studios do when they go bad, like Blizzard or Bethesda. They become corporate. They become like a business, and because of that, they lose what made them good or unique in the first place. They even lose the people who contributed to its success. I think that's what happened with Extra Credits, just as much as we see for these other gaming companies. Unfortunately, hell, their narrator is completely different too.
And you know what? I'll piggyback on that. I think, and for me, it's a combination of anime and games. But I've definitely seen like anime and games handle mature situations better than. And this is something like I hear this all the time. Like they should teach like how to do taxes in a high school and shit, and teach kids shit for the real world. Like, I agree with that. But I think some of the life lessons, and some of them you can't learn, you just got to experience. But you can be prepared for them. And I think that's something they should teach too. And I think that they really do a disservice on that end as well.
Yeah.
They're just like, here's English. It's the fucking language that you speak every day, but you'll be fine.
Jorge says, it's funny that some people are against games, but forget that there are some fucked up books available to teens and kids. Well, the one thing I will say, and the reason people don't really think about books or anything is because kids don't read these days. Even the outcasts don't read. Everybody plays video games of all age groups, but hardly anybody fucking reads a book anymore. When I was a kid, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Like in my household, my parents are very much 80s in how I grew up. I grew up with a VHS. We didn't have a Blu-ray player till I was a teenager. I had a PS2 until 2015. I grew up with my family not spending a lot of money on frivolous updates to shit. Hell, we even had a box TV downstairs, which is what me and my sister used for years. When we got cable, oh. I blew my fucking mind.
Don't say box TV. Some people won't know what that is.
Box TV is not flat. There's the screen, which by the way, when you turn it on, it makes a fuzzy noise, like.
Oh yeah.
And then sometimes when it gets fuzzy, you had to slap the back of it with some violence, like with a hardcore whack, and it would sometimes go back to normal. Sometimes you'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, whack it again, plug it back in, then whack it one more time, and then finally it would work. That was my routine. That's the old days, and I grew up with that. And the thing is, I grew up with all of that stuff when flat screens were the standard, when Blu-ray players were already old, and the PS4 had been out for a year. The only advanced technology in my household growing up, and again, I stand by this, is how I describe my house. It was an 80s household. In every way but the actual decade I grew up in. And the TV shows I watched.
Reverend Norse is a little bit behind on the stream, and he's shouting extra credits at us now.
Reverend Norse, check to see if you're in the proper timeline on the stream, because we're way fucking ahead, dude. If that's the case, he won't hear.
I'll type it in. Just because if we just say it, it'll still take it a while.
Oh my god. But yeah, that was how I grew up. So even though age-wise I grew up in the most advanced technological era, you wouldn't have been able to tell at all if you entered my house. Hell, we even had a time of day my dad called no technology time, where my dad's an electrician, or was. Now he's a completely different job. But when I was a kid, that was his main job. He was an electrician, so he actually wired everything in the house. The Wi-Fi adapter, he hooked that up so the Wi-Fi would turn off. If you had Ethernet cable, you were good, which is why he was fine. He would watch TV and have it hooked up to the DVR and stuff like that. Or he'd hook up his laptop to the adapter. That's how determined he was to make it so we couldn't even access the internet. None of us had smartphones. I didn't even have a flip phone until I was 13 or 14. So there wasn't any smartphones in the household to access the internet. All we fucking had was the box TV with the VHS, which, by the way, he would unplug during no technology time and say, do not touch this or I'll take it away for a week. So for 4 hours a day, 4 to 3 hours a day after school was no technology time. And the reason for that is it was a way to encourage me and my sister to go outside and play, or do our homework, or do other constructive things like read books and the such, which is what I did. Those are the 3 things I did during those 4 hours every single day, except weekends. Weekends is when he wouldn't do it. Thank God. I'm so happy that that's the case. Because the thing is, he stopped doing that when I entered high school, because he was like, okay, fuck it, I don't care anymore. You know, my dad went from being a draconian dictator of the house to more of I'm a dictator still, but I'll let you get away with shit because I'm too tired and don't care anymore.
I didn't really have that. Like I said, my dad was active duty military, so he was always deployed minimum about 4 hours away from the house. So it was one of those things where I think the funniest thing that's ever happened is I skipped school for a week in 9th grade, and Mom called Dad to come home to whip my ass pretty hard. Yeah, that's something that happened in the early 2000s. And Dad couldn't, so Mom left work and whipped my ass for about 20 minutes straight. And I was kind of smart about this. Is when they would call the house, we had a house phone that had an answer machine. I would delete the message, and then so what happened was they called Dad, and Dad was in Northern Virginia, and he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm 4 hours away. So he called Mom, and then Mom left work and then came in and beat my ass. So
my dad had only beat my ass twice growing up, and that's because he only ever needed to do it twice. That was my parents' policy, was make it so traumatizing they never do it again.
The only 2 things that happened to me like that is the time my mom spanked me for skipping school, and then Dad was deployed and me and Mom got into it, and I said a few things I shouldn't have, and she slapped me right in the mouth, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? It's like hitting the reset button, like, wait, what? Where are we? And I mean, now looking back on it, it's kind of like I think that's child abuse? Fuck that.
No, it's not. It's not. As much as the 2 times my dad whooped my ass, which I will never forget it. He went all out because he wanted to leave an impression, and he succeeded. But I don't look back on that as, I fucking hate my dad for that. No, in the moment you hate them. But then later you look back and go, oh my god, I'm so happy that you did that, because it stopped me from being a douche later.
I will say that my favorite memory was one of the times I was getting whipped. And no, not because I ended up being a kink later. That's completely beside the point. But, my dad, he had just gotten home. Like I said, he had to drive for 4 hours to get home, and I forgot what I did. And Mom's like, just wait till your father gets home. And so he gets home,
You actually got to hear that term, didn't you?
Oh yes, I did. I heard it multiple times.
Oh, I never had to hear it. I knew it.
This is the best part of this story. I cannot make this shit up. He takes his belt off because he's going to whip me with his belt. By the way, that's something that happened too. And his pants fell down.
He was too eager to get to the beating, forgot to secure.
Yeah. So he didn't whip me that time because all three of us were too damn busy laughing. So it's just one of those things where it's like, he's like, I'll whip you later. And that was it. We just all started laughing. It was just so funny. He was like, just pull the jeans. I think it was jeans. I'm almost positive it was. He pulls them back up, starts looping them back. And we're just sitting here, just like, what do we do now?
Hug it out, call it good as a family.
Oh man.
Yeah. Me and my dad have a lot better relationship these days, though, and I'm glad to hear that you don't look back on those days as all that bad either for your family.
No, and it's very similar with me because now me and my dad have a much better relationship. I honestly try and call him every day. I don't know if I've told you this, but both of my parents are now physically disabled. Well,
yeah, we talked about that with Kibbs before.
Yeah, they're essentially physically disabled. My mom, right now, stays with her brother about a week at a time because he's going through chemo. Yeah, and it's hard for her to get around. And my dad, I don't know how the hell he's getting around at this point. Like, medically speaking, he shouldn't be able to, but he still is. And it's just one of those things where I call him every day just to see how he's doing, stuff like that. And it's one of those things where, because with mine and my wife's situation right now, it's where I can essentially drive her back and forth to work, and that's it. I can't really go and see them as much as I want, so I try and convince them to come over here, see me, see their grandson. And by the way, if you want to go great quick, have a kid. I fully recommend it. If you do not give a shit about hair color, have a kid. Joking aside, though,
that's reasoning.
Joking aside,
if you don't give a shit about hair color, you have a kid right now. Go do it. Do it right now. Don't wait.
That's the only reason too. But no. In all seriousness, though, I mean, like, I would say if I were smarter about it, I'd probably wait a couple more years to have my son. But I'm absolutely glad that we have. I wouldn't change it for the world. He just turned 2 this year, so.
Yeah, for me, I even though I've had girlfriends who wanted to go that far, I've shared some pretty personal stuff on stream before about my relationships and how horrible some of them have gone. I won't get into that here. I've already vented that before on stream. But one of the many reasons I am not a parent right now is I grew up in a Christian family, very much had it drilled into me, you don't have sex before you're married. Of course, even though I've been told that, I did everything but straight up have sex to this point. And I also have I hazard to say fortunate. I'll say fortunate. I have the fortune of having friends who have fucked up all around me in that regard. I have a friend, my best friend in IRL. He is a parent, and he became one at 16 years old. The other one was 17. That's my other friend, and he's got another. And then both of these friends have 2 kids each.
The biggest mistake I ever made. Now, to give you an idea, me and my wife, we've been together 10 years. We've been together since our last year of high school. And her best friend happened to, and I can't make this up, 2 of her closest friends happened to be 2 of my exes. And my best friend had never been in a relationship before. So her friend was, really depressed because she couldn't find a boyfriend, shit like that. And my friend was depressed because he was going off to college, and he's like, I'm never going to meet anyone. So we hooked those 2 up. I'm a retard. I actually lost, he was one of my 2 closest friends, and I lost him as a friend because of events that played out from that. And within 4 years, they had 3 kids.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like,
wah, wah, wah. That's Jesus. But yeah, all that real world stuff aside.
We went from gaming and then we just like, let's see how depressed we can make
ourselves. Let's start the therapy session. Yeah, we're about that time.
See you later,
damn.
Kyle Jordan Gaming.
Yep, see you later, man. Thank you for coming by, man. Much appreciated, and have a great rest of your day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's all the topics we had for today.
Yes, I think so as well.
Yeah, that's all I got from my list. You didn't have any others, right?
No, all I was going to do was shamelessly plug my community event later.
Oh no, go ahead. This is our podcast, very much so.
Yeah.
So.
What all I was going to say is, for anyone interested,
I'll probably be over there. By the way, just let my crowd know. I'll be over there. I'll be playing. It'll be hosted on his channel, which I will link in the description. In the description of this at post to stream and in a pinned comment. And when the community event starts, I'll make a community post linking it.
Yeah, it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for anyone who has StarCraft 2, or for anyone who doesn't have it, it's free.
It's completely free.
Yeah. For anyone who wants to join in, feel free to join in. We'll probably do a few rounds of rotation through co-op. We'll probably do rotation through versus, depending on how many people.
Will I get rotated out?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's only fair to the rest of the only person who can't get rotated out is me. I mean, it's not me trying to be a dick, but it is for the entire.
No. I was trying to be facetious. I'll probably hop in then for the one round I'm rotated in for, and then I'll probably head out.
You made me feel bad for a minute. Because, like I said, I'm also going to switch between co-op and versus, and I know how you don't like co-op, so...
Yeah, I'm not big on co-op.
Yeah, during that, you're more than welcome to hang out in the chat with us and let the autism just flow over you. Because you saw how high energy they were during the fucking Deathwatch game.
Yeah, I'll probably jump in for...
Save me. Actually, I will say this real quick, because the Deathwatch game, one cool thing happened, and I will show on the 8th, when the next Deathwatch game is I've actually been, one person has made 4 pieces of art for that game. In fact, one of them is probably going to end up being used for the thumbnail for the next game. And so I'm going to be showing that off on the 8th, because it's actually pretty damn good.
Nice.
So that person will get lots of shout-outs and lots of love from the Deathwatch game.
Epic, bruh.
I have to make sure that I don't know if I can put one of them in a Dreadnought, but I might have to. I don't want to make him a Dreadnought. I don't even want to think about that. And that's the game before my birthday, too. I have to figure that out, too. They're going to stress me out that game, and it's going to... No, it's not going to ruin my birthday. I almost said, I'm like, I can't even say that joke.
By the way, I'm just going to do this for future reference. I'm going to give you moderator status.
Oh, okay.
On these streams.
Okay.
Because that is necessary.
That way I can just keep an eye on it and, like...
Yep.
Just be like, hey, this is me. Hi, guys.
Also, it highlights you with the wrench.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I probably won't do much moderating, if any.
I don't expect you to actually be moderating. It's just to give you moderator status so you stick out.
Yeah, it's no offense intended to you, and I don't think you would do it. It's just I don't like moderating anymore.
No, I get it. I understand. I pretty much have to moderate all my own stuff anyway, and I'm okay with that, I guess. I got still moderating the Discord though. That's good.
Yeah, I have the same guy moderating my YouTube and my Discord. He's an awesome guy. And anyone who ends up joining my Discord, thank Coda, because he puts a lot of shit on his shoulders for my sanity. So make sure to give him a big thank you for that.
Awesome. We can discuss Arch's Crusade status update. I'm actually going to do a video on that, because I did check that out right before the stream. I'm going to do a video on that. I don't know if Ludus is.
I don't plan like and this is just a personal thing. I don't plan on covering like Arch's take on it. It's just like the most I'll probably do is if any more shit happens, I'll probably put up my own take on it. For instance, let me look at my thing for a minute. The video that has me ranting actually comes out on the 31st. So that was also recorded a week ago. So that will essentially be my feelings a week ago, and I went through and watched it 2 days ago, and my feelings haven't changed at all. So it's one of those things where if you want to know how I feel about everything going on with, Arch and Twitter and GW and all that shit, that'd be the best way to find out.
Kenneth Robinson said, it's these random tangents that make this podcast so enjoyable. That's why I don't heal them too much. Because if this were like a video I had to edit, I'd probably keep us on topic a little bit more. But it's a live stream. It's a lot more open. It's a lot more open-ended. So I actually like the tangents myself. I let them happen because it adds more for people to get out of these than just the raw topics.
I do go on tangents. Chances are that's, at least from what I've seen, that's when the chat gets a little bit more involved. And I know you've said this a bit, but we like it when chat gets involved because that means it's not just us sitting here talking back and forth to each other. It's all of us together.
Yeah, that's why it's a live stream. The chat's got to get involved at times. Okay, so we got your event at 6 today. And I'll hop on for that for some of the versus stuff. I might watch the stream for a little bit. Probably while I work on other stuff. Past that.
Because in between now and then, I've just got to. So for anyone who doesn't know how insane I am about my videos, I right now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos scheduled, and this is just my next 2 weeks of gaming vids and my next week of my next 2 weeks of lore vids. Okay, wait a minute, something's not right here.
All right, Captain UFO is heading out. Thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, see you, Captain UFO.
I have a good one, man.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I work on it this way so I can stay ahead. That way, if something does come up in life, I have a I see what I did wrong now. I have it scheduled out so where if I happen to miss like a day or two, or even at most maybe even a week, I can get it situated to where, hey, it's all fine and good. I have enough time to catch up. But it's one of those things where I learned this from a couple of bad examples from YouTubers to ones who aren't prepared or who honestly don't care. So I do it as a way of making sure that I always have a plan. And
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah, so that right there, I do 5 videos a week, and that takes me about 2 days to do all 5 videos. And that's not including the research and scripting of the lore video. In essence, that can take me anywhere from 2 days to about the full 7, depending on how deep I'm going into the lore. But I do those, and then I do all my streaming on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so that I do have a little bit of a break from the monotony.
I don't take any days off.
Oh no, I really don't either. It's just how I do my time.
Yeah,
So
I just to give reference, I work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week on this stuff. That's whether that's streaming, putting together videos and editing them and uploading them, which I'm doing less of these days, I've noticed, but I'm going to try and bring that back up. But past that, I also have the issue of now that I'm working on the Grimdark in the background and trying to establish, and I just found out I can't trademark the name until I start actually using it in a commercial sense. So you can't file for a trademark beforehand. You have to actually start the work. You can file early. If the thing is, it takes about 6 months or anything for that stuff to process anyway. So if you think you're gonna get to actual commercial use of the trademark within that filing time, by the time they get to it, they'll probably see that you are using it from a financial sense. So I could apply for it now, but I don't know for certain I'll be working with it in 6 months.
Right.
So that's complicated.
And I mean, for me, this is a little bit different. I probably put in about 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. But also, I have a 2-year-old running around, so that varies.
Yeah, you have a very taxing and a much more important little toddler to deal with.
Yeah, and also part of it is I don't know if I've said this on stream. So I do YouTube as a career. My wife works, and she doesn't have a license. So I drive her back and forth to work and take care of our son while she's at work. And outside of that is when I do my researching, scripting, and all that shit. That's why I have a really bad sleep schedule.
No, I get you, man. I usually go to bed around 3 a.m. and get up around... I usually fall asleep at my desk these days while I'm working.
Not good.
I do that, I'm going to say, since I went full-time with this. Started doing that about a month or two ago. Pretty much when I started going full-time. And I do it about 3 or 4 times a week, inconsistently.
Yeah, that's bad. That's actually really bad. In fact, just from the amount of time, because yesterday is when I recorded. So in between recordings, I would probably stop, play RimWorld a little bit to try and because I told you about Metro Exodus and me damn near having a stroke. But between, like, I'll play a little bit of RimWorld. At the time, like I said, my wife had the medical emergency she had to go handle. And right around that time is when my son went down for the night. So all that was happening, and I had to take care of that, wait a little while, make sure he was completely asleep, then come back and do the rest of the recording. And since then, my lower back and my side have felt like I've been hit with a hammer. So you don't need to be sleeping at your desk. Otherwise, in 10 years, you're going to be feeling like someone beat the shit out of you with a hammer.
I already do.
I was trying to help.
Nah. But this is, I'm putting all my heart and soul in this, and that's quite literally. Last time I played a game casually was probably last night. That was the first time in 2 months I'd played a game casually.
Yeah, that's how I get, and my main go-to is like, essentially my main go-to right now is RimWorld, but that's because I can have it running while I'm doing research or something else. So it's not even that I'm playing it casually, but it's just I'm multitasking while I do it.
Yeah, I just played StarCraft last night. Got my ass kicked when I did 1v1s, but so many people go for the... so many people take it so, like, serious. And listen, I was playing unranked, so I was thinking, I'll play a couple unranked matches. People won't take it too seriously. People were fucking, like, playing like it was ranked. I'm like, y'all, let's actually play the game.
I don't know if you noticed this yet or not, but that thing right up there in the background, that is from the original StarCraft battle chest. And that's actually the side with the unit tech trees.
Nice.
I just now noticed, because I was looking at my camera on the stream, and I was like, oh yeah, we're talking about StarCraft. There's my StarCraft paraphernalia. Oh god, I'm sad. I'm old.
Nah. You're only about 30.
Yeah.
Which ain't too bad. I mean, 30, you still got, what, many good years ahead of you?
Oh, I fucking hope not.
God forbid they're good years.
yeah. I mean, like, no. I mean, God forbid they're years, because good went out the window a long time ago once the breathing got harder. COPD is not amazing to live with. There are literally days where I feel like I'm suffocating.
I wish those days don't ruin the good ones for you. And I'm sorry to hear those happen to you.
It's something I've it's something that I've got to. It's like, joking aside, I've learned to live with it. It's like anything else life throws at you. I mean, like, and I'm not saying this will happen. I mean, like, tomorrow I could gain 1 million subs and then the next day lose every single one of them. It's just, you deal with the good as you deal with the bad.
Yeah. I probably should be watching my health more closely.
Yeah, you should.
Should, am, eh.
They're kind of the same.
Yeah. Let me take some last looks at the chat. Jorge says, sleep? What is sleep? I don't understand. Nah. StarCraft 2 ranked as merciless. Well, the thing is, I was playing unranked because I know rank is merciless, but unranked is supposed to be more casual. But no, they were going fucking all in, man. It was like, no, I have to go. Like, I gotta defeat the enemy as soon as possible. The one person I was playing against, a Zerg player, I tried to have a brief conversation with them. I was like, hey, how's your day going? They didn't say anything. A whole match. I'm like, motherfucker, come on. Talk to me, damn it.
Be civil while you're trying to murder someone.
It's like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm like, are you a bot? And that's the only time they responded was, no. No, okay, I think you are.
So I think Nathan is lying to me because that's the first time I've heard it. He said Ludus's laugh is so infectious.
Ludus's laugh is so infectious.
That's the very first time I've ever heard that.
I think so.
9 years.
Your laugh is very welcome to the stream.
Well, no, it's funny because I always try and make people laugh, but I never do it intentionally.
Make me laugh.
I try.
You succeed. You're welcome.
I try and be that person now where I'm more upbeat and just trying to get people to laugh and like, well, I don't.
That's pretty much our jobs is to make people laugh and entertain them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's so much shit going around the world,
which we don't need to talk about.
No, it's like people need an escape from that. So that's what YouTube is for. That's what it should be for. That's what a lot of things should be for. It's just not. I mean,
yeah.
We just need to get together and like build each other up, not tear each other down.
It's very much what we're trying to do. At least that's what me, you, Kibbs are doing. And Arch, there's plenty of people who, for some reason, take some kind of sick joy in being divisive for some reason. But we don't need to focus on those people.
I am wearing my Tokyo Ghoul shirt, so I am prepared. I am prepared for this.
Yeah. All right, before we get too heavy, thanks everybody for joining the stream. I had fun. We got through all our topics. It was a pretty good time. Any final thoughts or anything?
Finn Carnass, Asmagon, why not play with the folks in Discord?
What do you mean?
I think he's talking about something similar to what I do with my community events, where I actually set it up to where, when you played Vermintide, you played. Yeah,
I when I played Vermintide or when I played Space Hulk Deathwing, that was with Discord people. I do community events.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't do the rotation thing. Like, if I'm gonna play around with people, I want to play with the same people from beginning to end. So I have like a set group. Like, I put up a feeler on Discord. Like, who has the game, who wants to play it, and who's available. Once they fit all three of those, we all play together. As for like an open Discord game time, I don't do that. Because I think if I have to constantly rotate people out, it doesn't feel as personal. It doesn't feel as enjoyable. So if I rotate between streams, like one stream I have this group I'm gonna play with for the stream, end it, and then the next time I do this game and do a community thing, I'll have a different group join. I'll do that. But in terms of like this stream, I want to play with these people. I don't want to have to switch gears with a different group throughout the whole thing. Like, I feel like that's a lot less personal, and it feels more like it's I feel like it's more like a factory, like, oh, I'm moving you through the machinery here, like, oh, I'm rotating you around, like I'm doing sessions almost. It's a lot less personal.
Well, let me clarify.
I just realized that I almost. Sorry, I just realized that's what you're doing.
No. It's fine. No, I get exactly what you're saying, but so now chances are that won't happen. Because normally when I get people to my community events, it's enough where I just consistently play with them. But if I do for some reason get like 8 people who want to play StarCraft 2, then I'll be like, okay, if you want to play, you can jump in next round or something like that. That's normally how I would do that.
I mean, I like to have a set group. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like knowing that I'm going to be talking to these people about the same stuff for the next hour and a half, and I don't have to worry about filtering in different people with different conversations. But I liked having the set group idea.
And that's why I'm also looking at different games. And in games that allow more people. Because with StarCraft 2, you can have either 2 for the co-op, or I believe even...
If you got Halo, you can do what Kibbs is doing. Because you can get like groups of like, I think, 12?
No, I think it's like up to fucking 16.
Yeah, you can get pretty large groups together for Halo and stuff. So
well, the problem is that's a $40 game, and most of the people in my community don't have $40.
That's true.
and I don't have $40 to get Halo. Otherwise, I would have joined them. But no, I mean it's one of those things. So like the reason I look at StarCraft is because that's one that I have a few people who are interested in it. So that's kind of. It's still hit or miss, but more often than not, I get enough people for it. The 2 that I've been doing are Tabletop Simulator and usually Cards Against Humanity, or Warhammer 40k Gladius, because we can do remote play hot seat. So that one I can get up to, I think it was 16 players as well, but we all just played hot seat. So, yeah.
Murderous Kitten hitting with the how about a Community Hearts of Iron 4 game? You really want me to play that for some reason. That makes me question why.
I have not played Hearts of Iron 4. Last Hearts of Iron I played was the first one.
I haven't played any of the Hearts of Iron games. I don't know much about them other than it's a strategy game. Finkart says, no, I meant StarCraft 2, looking for casual games. Me and Benito played some a little bit. Casually. I did record some of it because I didn't want the time to not go to waste, but like I need to keep my productivity up, so I can't just, again, that's why the first time I got to play a game just for my own amusement and not for any like YouTube purpose was last night. That was the first time in a couple months. I very rarely get to play games casually, like even though I'm still a subscriber to World of Warcraft and I was getting back into the game recently because I do intend to play Shadowlands and I don't want to buy max level characters. I don't like that practice, so I wanted to level some up, but I haven't even gotten to do that lately. It's one the thing is though, is I'm not unhappy about it. I mean, I'm doing a job that I enjoy significantly more than the one I had. So, but I do need to treat it like a job at the end of the day because it is work, and I can't afford to. I can't afford to waste time recreationally. I mean, the time that I would have spent recreationally playing games on my own time, I now use to work on the Grimdark, on the writing and on the stories and on the designs. I don't have that free time anymore, really.
And for me, it's like I said, it is kind of similar. I'm not working on sci-fi universe, so I can't say anything about that. But for me, it usually goes into either taking care of my son, or when I do actually have free time, I'm usually digging into lore to improve my lore videos. Because they need it.
I think that wraps everything up. Yeah. Hope everybody had fun during the stream today. I need to go get some food before I pass out.
Agreed.
Have a great day, everybody, and we will see you guys next Wednesday for the next podcast. And yeah, I'll be streaming again tomorrow. I agreed. There was somebody who was jumping into the Code Vein stream yesterday who I towards the end I got a headache and was losing my energy really quickly. So tomorrow I'm gonna be playing with him, assuming he's still available. And yeah, after that I intend to put an official like what days I'm streaming what game for the next couple. Until I finish one of the games, at least, I'm going to set up a streaming schedule because I don't have an official one, and I need to set that up. So that'll be done soon. But anyway, have a good one, guys. Eat healthy, stay healthy, and sleep healthy. And remember, Ludus has his community event at 6 p.m. tonight. Thanks again, and I will see you all next time. My name is Asmagon. That's your cue.
Oh. I said I'm Ludus. Okay. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we will also see you in the next one.
Yep. Hey, bye-bye, guys.
I'm not smart. I'm bad at social cues.